Hi, Vod.
Hello.
Hi, Vod.
Hi, bud.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome
Hi, Vod.
to. We're doing some more Umineko book club, and where? Oh, wait, that's an image that I shouldn't have up. What's? It seems like we've been caught in purgatory yet again. So it's grape flavored this time. So oh well, we're kind of fucked, aren't we? And suddenly, I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of hungry for some blood of Kraus, some wine made from the blood of Kraus. I want some. What was it? Appled Maria?
That's right. And you can't forget Rudolph's face.
Yes, Rudolph's face.
And the best
Ava
one
tongue
of all.
salad.
That's right,
Mhm.
Ava's tongue. Right.
Ava's
Grandma.
tongue. Yep, delicioso. Oh, what was the other guy? Starts with an F. Rudolph. Rudolph. That ends with an F.
Starts with an F.
Rudolph.
Fucking
What was
Rudolph.
he? Was he like
was
a
his
salad,
face.
right? Oh no. Oh yeah, face and then Kraus blood, Ava tongue salad. Yeah, okay, all right.
That's right.
And then
That's
Maria
right.
apple. All right. Hey everybody. We got kind of on off subject real quick. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody and then go ahead and just start recapping everything and talking about the end of episode 2, which my god. lots of yuck, lots of almost had to get out of the room I was in because I was so being made so squeamish by the things that were being shown. I have, for those who don't know, I get very fucked up by forced feeding like stuff, and it literally makes me want to puke. It's like almost as bad as trypophobia for me. It's like, it's bad. Anyways, so hi, Kate, Broken Bee, what's up? Are you a witch?
Hello. Sorry for my mic issues. Hopefully I'm not too disruptive.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And yeah, so we've got one confirmed witch, and then we've got a Jules who is Umineko.
Yes.
So, Jules, you're not a witch.
Apparently not.
Yeah, it really sucks. We're more
I feel-
battler coded.
Yeah, I feel very vindicated. I haven't been here since the couple of episode 1, the end of it. I feel very
yeah.
vindicated by being the main canon defender in that call. Because I've been vindicated because now everyone realizes he's awesome.
It's true. It's true. When he showed up in the Akatsuki like cloak, it was like, okay, I kind of get
That
it.
was a Sasuke ass fit.
The motherfucker about to pull out that Sharingan. Mel, what is going on? How are you doing this
Hello.
wonderful night?
Doing all right. Wasn't here last time, so I see you redecorated. Lovely
Yeah.
demo place.
Yeah.
If I had one critique, I feel like I question perhaps your choice of furniture.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that earlier, about, like before the stream. We were talking about maybe getting some battlers in here, maybe getting the cloning machine over here and running him through it a couple times, and just getting that nude kid, just like getting him down on all fours so we can sit on him and put our feet up on him and stuff. That'll sound very strange out of context. Then again, most of this game sounds pretty strange out of context. Purpley orange, a witch.
Right. I'm a witch and I'm here to not spoil things, actually. I don't want to do that. That'd be rude.
That would be rude. But how do you feel being in your home territory?
I mean, I feel like all witches, I have the terrible witch disease known as boredom. So
Yes. I hear
hopefully
that
we
a
can
lot.
begin the book club,
Mhm.
and that will make me not bored.
Hey, it's called book club, not board club. Rusty Cat.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Like I said before, I'm spoiled to something major, but other than that, I am new to Umineko.
Mm-hmm. I'm really curious about what your opinion when we get to the end of everything is going to be. Like I'm really curious
The
what
end of everything.
the end of everything. Yeah, like
That's
when we get to the heat death of the universe, I'm really curious what you think about Umineko, because we're all going to be thinking about it by then too. You know?
True.
Yeah.
I feel sad that I wasn't there to defend Canon because he is a tied fave. I love the funny maids so much.
I feel like Goda's probably going to get a lot of defending as well later on. I can already kind of feel it, especially how horribly he was treated in this run of episodes. Oh my god. Or chapters, I should say. I keep getting tripped up on the episode chapter distinction. Spider-Man, can you help me out with that in any way?
No, I cannot. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Spider-Man.
Hello.
I read the question arcs 15 years ago, and I'm rereading them again now, and I like them a lot better this time. I feel like I can better appreciate them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm appreciating them on my first time through, so there's that. Talsrael.
Hello.
Hello.
I have also read up through episode 4, so I am basically half witch and decreasingly witch as we catch up to myself.
I feel us all turning into witches. You feel that? You're already like halfway through. So yeah, that's interesting. UT. Trainer, ultimate trainer.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
That's all good.
A little mic issues, but
Are you playing Umineko right now? Are you engrossed?
No.
No? Okay.
I am engrossed actually by Beatrice, but
just imagining you looking at the life-size painting of Beatrice that you have next to your computer, just staring longingly at it and going like, "Ah, Beatrice! Beatrice!" This guy, someone.
if only I could be as the.
What's
that? I wish I could be as charismatic as him.
Don't we all? And wait, y'all hear that? I think someone just showed up. Is it Jan, the Witch of Book Club?
Hey, Bob.
Hi.
I got a big picture of Maria on my TV right now.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, just like scene setting is
yeah.
Just setting the stage, the
something
fitting up the
important to look
ouvroir.
at. That's right.
Do
Oh,
it
you're
for
probably
her.
you're yeah, it's a very extremely do it for her situation. But aren't you like playing I thought I saw you post something in the book club chat on Discord that was it you or was it someone else on like Blue Sky who's like trying to make Umineko / Higurashi characters in Tomodachi Life?
Oh, that was somebody else, but I might also do that. Just a couple, perhaps.
I was thinking you having Maria on your TV might be for reference purposes. Jan,
Yeah, I think I would like to put her.
Indeed, Jan. Would you like to go ahead and tell us what happened in this run of episodes of chapters?
Okay, so there was quite a bit. Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna have a shorter time tonight, so just gonna try to get right to it. So
Weird considering
Rosa
all that happened, but
starts
yeah.
Rosa gets real accusatory. We get one of the wonderful lines, "You are incompetent" in red, so you know it's true.
Mhm.
There's a big fight. George, Goda, they get got. Shannon got some magic going on with her. It's a bit of a love-lust fight. They get thrown out of the safe room again. Discord. Funny how that works. And then Battler just kind of fucking gives in a little bit, starts kissing shoes, starts getting naked, goes to the goat party. Rosa, for making it through all that, she gets to eat her siblings. And then Battler shows up, says some very epic stuff for 2007, 2008. And then we meet a new friend.
Yes, Lambda Delta, who looks
Ho, 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 as it were.
like someone. Looks like someone. I shan't say who. Maybe later when we get to spoilers for something else. But
I
yeah,
wonder.
it's very curious. It's very Smash Bros coded, and everyone's here.
Everyone's here.
But yeah. All right. Did we want to go ahead and start talking? Do we want to do like an overall feeling of how we all feel about the episode or the chapters, I'm going to keep making that mistake. I apologize. in
Someone
advance.
else.
Yeah,
Just
we're on a
someone else
shorter
just
one tonight,
arrived.
man.
Yeah, true. All right, let's go ahead and get into the reader topics then. Jules, you want to take it away?
Let's get on to yeah, does he know?
Yes.
Does he know?
So I am very interested in the mechanics of Umineko as a game, because some people think that visual novels aren't games. I mean, there's arguments. This is definitely a video game to me, and I was trying to figure out how I feel that battler within. I kind of think of like two different battlers. Like there's a battler who's playing the game, and then there's the battler in the game. And the fact that like the battler that we see where like the screen goes dark and he's talking to Beatrice, that's the player. And I was thinking about like how much awareness does the kind of game version of battler have. I was thinking about how like, so let's say I make myself an Animal Crossing, and mechanically I as the player know that if I go into my villager's house while they're home, they might be making a recipe for me to get. The character, Jules in Animal Crossing, does not know this to be a mechanical fact. Why is she going to her friend's house, other than like me kind of telling her to? You know, like, so I feel like in a way that's what player battler is doing to game piece battler. Like, game piece battler is kind of doing things that player battler wants him to do, but I imagine he doesn't have the meta knowledge of why exactly he's doing it. But like to Animal Crossing me, I'm just going to visit my goat friend. I feel like I'm explaining this horribly.
No, I think
No,
I
I
get
think
what
it
you're
makes sense.
saying.
There's a similar thing in the original Tomodachi Life, your lookalike, although they talk to you more directly in that one. So
Yes.
I think Animal Crossing is a good comparison point.
Yeah, it's definitely leaning into like the idea of having an avatar in a game. Like you have a representation of yourself versus you, and how much you know. The thing for me for Battler is that it's basically a one-to-one with the player, but it really seems with the question mark segments that we watch that like there might be a distinction between the player, the person who is playing this game like in real life, versus Battler, who is almost like there's like I think there's like maybe a tier of like there's us playing the game, then there's Battler who is playing the game like we do but is inside of the game, and then there's the individual like gameplay session battlers. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
yeah, I think that's
No, it
true
does.
because we see scenes that even like meta battler doesn't see. Basically, any scene that he's not in, he doesn't seem to be aware of, but we see it. We see like Cannon whipping out his lightsaber and fighting the goat demons. Battler seems to have no knowledge of this, even the meta battler that talks to Beatrice.
Mm-hmm.
And like, to me, that makes me really untrustworthy of any scene that Battler is not in. Because I feel like in every scene, there is no scene that Battler's in until like scenes towards the very ends of like the episodes where he actually sees magic shit happen continually, even in this episode.
Yeah.
He still hasn't seen any magic shit. We get to see it because Beatrice is showing us all this crazy magic, but he still doesn't, and that's very suspicious to me.
Yeah, and I also think it's very sus that he like Battler sees probably the biggest confirmation of like magic and the witch after he's like specifically drinking. Like we don't know exactly what he's drinking, but he's doing his best Kinzo impression in and then what's his name? I almost said Ginzo. That's not right. Genji. And Genji comes over and says like, "Hey," and Battler's like, "What, are you gonna give me shit for underage drinking?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm used to it. You want to come upstairs and see a witch?" And Battler's like, "Do I?" So, but yeah, like I I'm really curious about exactly, guys. I'm really curious about exactly what's going on in Umineko. I don't.
Oh yeah,
That's
wow.
that's just a little personality quirk of mine.
Do we know?
Wow.
Do we know? Well, that's the thing. One of the fascinating things that's happening here is, like, for me, is like we're getting a little bit of info and interiority for some of the other characters. Like we get a lot with Rosa this chapter. And we got a lot of George and Shannon at the very beginning and toward, I think, like roughly the middle. My thing is, like, should we be considering Battler the only person who knows in the way that we just described it, of like, we are sort of the meta player, we are the person who's physically playing the game, and sometimes the game talks to us, like talks past the characters in the game directly to us. And then there's sort of Battler. Is there also in that, like, sort of second tier Rosa,
I would say,
George, Shannon, Cannon?
I think we've seen evidence for Shannon and Maria at least. We've seen
The
Shannon's
notes,
action.
yeah, like the character bio notes feel like they still feel like they're written by Maria to me.
Well, yeah, they specifically say, like, they laugh like her. There's that one where it's like he, which is her signature laugh. So I would assume that it's her. In that case, it's like Maria seems something interesting is happening. I mean, something interesting is happening with everybody. But to kind of bring it all back, yes, I think that I like this idea. I think there's definitely. The game is. It's very funny that a visual novel like this, something that a lot of people wouldn't even consider to be a game, is leaning so hard on, like, game terminology, game, like, theory, and this idea that, like, you know, hard mode for the second episode, you know. This episode, I love the touch of that. I mentioned it in one of the VODs, but, like, the difficulty tier list, like you would have if you started a game like Silent Hill F. You choose easy, medium, hard, etc. And so it's really fascinating, like, how does that, like, sort of factor into everything, you know? And does it play into, like, is Battler a different person in each of these episodes because of the nature of making a new difficulty list? Do the pieces change or are they consistent?
That was a question I was having. Is so, like, in my head, the, like, meta Battler in episode 2 is basically just episode 1 Battler, right?
Right.
But now at the end of episode 2, has he become is now meta Battler? Has he absorbed episode 2 Battler into himself? Like, does he remember being in those scenes? Like, or is it just going to be episode 1? Like, what happened to episode 2 Battler? Is he basically this one and the same with episode 1 Battler now? Is he kind of absorbed into the meta? Or is that Battler just gone? Because that Battler accepted that Beatrice was real.
When I was reading this, I think I had to make, like, a basically an axiom, you know, something I have to take as definite truth. And the one thing I accepted as definite truth is that all of these people are kind of, like, the same between all these games in order for there to even be a mystery, right? You know, these people have to act the same, or else it's going to be, if they act differently between all of these games,
then there's no shared interiority to investigate.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but there's, I think there's a case for what Jules is saying. I agree. I think that's what's happening here, but I also think it's an interesting idea that what Jules is kind of bringing up of, like, it's not necessarily that the person, like your avatar. It's like what Jules was saying before. Did you want to explain it?
Yeah, because, like, episode 1 Battler has observed everything that has happened to episode 2 Battler at this point. Like, he was watching, he was there with Beatrice, they were playing the game. But just because of that, like, does Battler in the tea party remember physically being in the room during those scenes in episode 2, as well as watching them from the outside?
Does he absorb those memories, or is this like a hypothetical being presented by
That's
Beatrice?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Something similar happened in another game that we won't talk about, which is why I'm definitely interested in this idea. That not necessarily, like, it's really interesting. Like, are we rewinding time, or are we like? Oh, hi, Pleasant Possum. Thank you for the raid.
Rated with 5 viewers.
Thank you so much. FYI, we are deep in kind of spoiler discussion. We're doing a book club for Umineko, so please, if you want to like avoid spoilers, if you haven't played Umineko, please do not feel like you need to stay around. Hello, we are Umineko enjoyers. Oh, well, welcome. We we just finished episode 2, which was very there was a lot. Oh, thank you for the follow, Marsharoo. Oh, I love that name, Marsharoo. But yeah, hi everybody. So yeah, we're talking about like sort of game theory when it comes to whether like sort of Battler remembers everything that's happening versus like is the idea that I think that I thought Jules, and Jules, let me know if I'm right on this, is like is it the idea that like it's not necessarily like I think that the pieces, the players, see, and that's a really good distinction to make between like there are a couple things that I think might be happening here. One has historical precedence, which is I think the pieces are also susceptible to being majorly confused or distracted, or they are limited by their own perspective. In that way, they can become their own sort of unreliable narrators. And I think there's a shit ton of unreliable narration happening. And in that way, there are some things that Battler sees after he, like, I don't know, underage drinks for an unknown amount of time, probably like an hour or so, based on how much time passes when between chapters. But like that kind of stuff makes me very suspicious of everything that comes past. Thank you so much for the follow, Poda Katie. Hi, love your name. But yeah, so is that there's that aspect of it, and then there's also kind of a really interesting idea that Jules is either positing or making me come up with. This idea that like, is there a sort of game piece Battler, the Battler that is inside of the games, and a meta Battler that is potentially playing the visual novel of Umineko inside of Umineko. You know what I mean?
I mean, I imagine it as a chess game with Beatrice. Right. You know, I imagine a little Battler on the chessboard.
The way that the chess metaphor has been deployed by, I keep wanting to say her Higurashi name. No.
Or Burncastle?
Ava?
Burncastle. Burn. The way that Burn talks about the game pieces and referencing specific things that happened in Higurashi, it gives me kind of an interesting idea of what game pieces and what the pawns in the game could mean and how that kind of works. Because didn't our new friend Lambda Delta, who is instantly everybody's favorite character, didn't she say that like she felt sorry for Burn and spawned her pieces at the end of the game board or something? Or like you only have pawns, let me help you out, and then spawn them, something like that.
She allowed Burncastle to place her pieces wherever she wanted, and so she placed her pieces on at basically the end of Lambda's side of the board, and because Burncastle likes shoddy pieces in Lambda's telling, they were all pawns and they could all promote to queens when they got to the other side.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like part of that I would maybe want to save discussion for until we get to late in the book club where we start talking about other game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't want to get too far into that, but it's hard not to.
Right. I mean, it's such a big moment.
It's relevant.
It's extreme. Yeah.
And you can tell that Ryukishi is like, if you have played Higurashi before, he wants you to think about it.
Yeah, it's almost, I want to say it's a recontextualization, but really I think it was kind of a consideration for Higurashi from the beginning of just this like, and this plays into what Podokady says, even though the game always makes chess metaphors, I keep imagining it like a D&D game. And yeah, like I kind of imagine it as a mixture of both, where it's like a D&D game and you have a certain amount of choices, but your choices are limited by your perspective. And in that way, you can view it as like the certain characters are only capable of making certain moves across the board because they don't have enough information to make big swings. I'm being scoffed at.
No, sorry. I'm leaving. I'm genuinely. I had something in another window. Sorry. Returning to this focus of conversation. Sorry.
Wow.
I did have a thought about how all of this ties together with regards to difficulty, and that he's definitely, which is to say Ryukishi, he's very good at, I think, intuiting where the average reader might be. Well, sometimes he overestimates us, but he's good at intuiting where you might feel overwhelmed, I suppose. And kind of transferring some of that to Battler as well, because we see a lot of shit change in this episode. Sorry, continue.
No, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of outright fantastical stuff on the face of it if you're going into it for a mystery. A lot of stuff like, what do you mean you can speak in red? What do you mean you're just showing her walking around as a physical person? What do you mean there's a bunch of goats now? Oh, so Battler can just go see it? Like, I think he's very good at understanding that the average reader might get to a point where they feel overwhelmed and stop thinking. And we see that with Battler at the same time, like in the end there, where, as you've been saying, we could interpret that as we're being spoken to at the same time as Battler is being spoken to, when Ben Castell has those little asides where Battler's theoretically there, but not shown on screen.
Right. Yeah, it made me think
like, hey, get up, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Okay. The reason I jumped on what you were saying is because I wanted to emphatically agree. Because right when we were getting to the point where things were just like, I think it was Shannon was like in front of the mirror, and it was like, oh, there's importance on this. But then it kept throwing all of these different events and like all of these different interpretations of those events. And because we had fewer characters, there was less time to like really kind of talk it out and get kind of more people confirming each other. So it was just like, it became like at a certain point, I was like, I remember thinking, I don't really want to theorize anymore. I just kind of want to have this, I just kind of want to blast through this game and just have it pour over me, just so I can devour it. I want to, it's not that I want to stop thinking. It's just that thinking is almost getting in the way of me really like, ingesting it. Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make, is like at a certain point I was just along for the ride, because it was like there's too many questions here. There's too many what do they call them? Hidden not hidden doors, but like closed rooms. And it was just like, okay. But at that exact moment was when like Ryukishi just blew it up. He just like threw a stick of dynamite into it and everything exploded. And then suddenly and suddenly Battler's given up and he's licking Shu and like undressing Beto.
Did not like seeing the boy's ass. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like that.
I could have done without that. But to each their own. And yeah, like, so it just like, I feel like Ryukishi really understood like, oh, I'm going to do this to them. I'm going to blow it the fuck up. And then I'm going to make some crazy shit happen that's going to make people like emotionally resonate. Like the stuff that was being said to Rosa at the end by Beto really wanted, like, I wanted revenge on Beto. I want her to go down. Now I want her to go down way more because of that crazy shit, man. And so now I'm like even more invested in it. And I really want to see Beto lick Battler's shoes? No, no. I also him coming in to Rose's tea party section and just being like, what did he say? I'd like to
Make me a sandwich.
Slice up those cow tits and make me a sandwich.
He also said some stuff that he didn't say. We all agree he never said that.
He never
Oh,
said
I
those
hated
things.
that. I hated that.
What'd he say?
Oh, no.
I don't
No, he
remember.
didn't. He didn't, Bob.
No,
He
he
didn't
didn't.
say them.
Yeah, that's what I was
Forget
gonna
about
say.
it.
Like I don't remember him saying anything.
But he also slammed Beatrice's face on the table too.
And then she just fucking teleports away.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. She was just like, "What?" I love her. Beto's shocked face is so precious and amazing. Anyway,
I love her sprite so much.
I feel
very
that
good.
exactly when I'm joking around and it's turned back on me.
I do think it's very funny how viewing that scene from... Sorry, I'll let you go in a second here. Viewing that scene from Rose's point of view, we just suddenly see him run in heroically and do his big epic line for the 2000s. He's like, whoa, he's back. He's bigger than ever. He's raring to go. And then the next one, we see from his point of view, he was just crying in the corner, holding his knees, and some like very small girls had to be like, hey, get up, hey.
So
hey,
that
get
was
up.
canonically, because that's the interesting thing. It really felt like they were speaking past Battler to us. But the constant referencing to like, are you still holding your knees thing made me think like, oh, they're referencing someone like physically there with them. And I guess that would be
Bit of
Battler,
both, I
right?
think.
I mean, was that like episode 2 game piece Battler? Yeah, I kind of wonder.
Yeah, I would imagine so, just because of the nature of the storytelling in this. But you know what they say about assuming. Also, yes, we Marsharoo, we are playing with the OG sprites, and I have to say, far superior. Also, you might, for anybody who doesn't know, we do have some bit alerts if anyone feels like doing them, where you can pretend to be Beatrice or a certain other character, and also Maria. So yeah, if you do like, if you type exclamation mark, I think it's bits, or alerts. Yeah, you can see the cost for that stuff. So if you donate that exact bit, they'll appear right there, and they'll do a thing, and they'll say whatever you say. So anyway, enough of doing that. I just spent a lot of time on it. So go ahead.
When we looking at like the little summary thing that pops up for episode 3, it said like difficulty fair or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, equal.
I am very curious what that's going to mean. I am extremely curious how this one is going to be more fair than episode 2. I'm like eager to find out what that means.
I'm eager to find out what that means from lambda deltas and how that like kind of factors into lambda deltas like helping us, because
I think,
what does that mean? Well, like how is she going to like even the playing field on this?
I'm
like
sure.
her thing's certainty, right? Inevitability.
Yeah, certainty versus miracles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Beatrice is endless.
Let's keep interrupting iCat. I think it's funny.
No.
No. Go ahead.
Now I'll never voice my thought.
No. And now silence until iCat says their thought.
Okay, well, iCat, if you are you gonna say something, because we gotta keep going here, man.
Okay. No, what I was trying to say is, I'm sure it's been brought up already, but like, yeah, the original version of like episode 3 was scrapped because of the reception to this one, which was everyone found it extremely difficult. So I think on rewriting it, he went like, okay, I'm gonna give a bone to the reader, and that's why it's more
chill out
fair.
a little bit.
Yeah.
He overestimated us, unfortunately. Now, if
didn't a similar thing happen with Higurashi, where it was like episode 1 was viewed as like too like difficult, and so episode
maybe we can get back to that.
Okay.
Since we were talking about kind of game mechanics with regards to Beatrice and all that, how about Talsreal? You tell us about your clues and contradictions.
So yeah, I put up a section to discuss. Um, I feel it would be good to discuss the contradictions we've seen either within the episode itself or comparing and contrasting episode 1 and 2 to try and figure out what's going on. I was strongly tempted to bring up earlier ahead of time. The first one I have is that Maria's view of witches is framed as wholly positive in episode 1. Like, she doesn't have a concept of the Wicked Witch. And yet in episode 2, that's clearly not true. There are multiple times over the whole episode where she makes references to a bad witch, or and also going along with Battler giving up and blaming the witch instead of being like Maria's still broadly on Beatrice's side, but she's not. Witches are glorious and perfect, and she's going to take us to the Golden Land. There's a shard of doubt in there now.
I kind of feel like that's. I've heard. I think that in the other Discord we compared it to Christianity and seeing the witch as both like someone that you can blame bad stuff on, but you also love them for being that powerful.
Yeah,
it
that's
might be a different perspective. It might be Maria changes her mind.
I don't know what like insidious machinations y'all are cooking up in the other Discord, but I did want to I think you're absolutely right with that sort of analysis. I think the way that Rikishi deploys Christianity early in episode 1, and the way that it's also likened to witches are likened to Santa Claus in episode 2, I think it's very deliberate, and I think that might even be a theme that is going on here, because I'm very curious how Rikishi views like what makes someone a witch. Like is it power? Is it just or is it like a certain skill? And if it's a power derived from a certain skill, I guess I could see how spoilers would come in from another media property that shall not be named. But the thing that I know, I'm just trying not to overly like spoil stuff. Anyway, from another property, but at the same time, like what I'm curious about is how the characters react to sort of power and what Rikishi is going to say about power and the nature of power. And I think that it's leading to something, but I'm curious how like everything is going to build to that, if that's going to be the main point, I guess, of this, and with Beatrice and like the whole like sort of, because if you think about it, a lot of this game is about power and because the entire point of everybody meeting on this island on Rokonjima is for power. They're trying to get power from their soon to be dead father. They're trying to get money and power, or money to get power. And I think that it's all like it's just a bunch of power grabs, and I'm really curious. Okay, there's the thing that we haven't fucking talked about, and I don't know if there's anything in here about this, but this is directly related. Why are we getting Rosa at the end of episode 2? Why are we getting so much time with her? Is it that she made a deal with Beatrice? Is that why, like, did she quote unquote win? Or did she like do something to gain Beatrice's favor? Because it definitely seems like one of those, the way that Beatrice is talking to Rosa at the beginning of the tea party is like she is paying special attention to this game piece, as though either she takes pity on it or it has done something for her in the game that just occurred. Do you know what I mean?
If you remember in the end credits, I believe Rosa was stated as saying denied the witch, and was not allowed to go to the Golden Land because of that.
Why would she?
See, and that
Mhm.
contradicts her in the church, the scene that never comes up again, wherever all the parents are like, "Oh yeah, you're a real witch." Like in that scene, if that scene actually happened, then she did accept that Beatrice is a witch. So that's a contradiction right there.
I
That's
think so does Battler at the end, and then he
She
revokes
said,
that. So
yeah. I mean, at the end, she even says that she is a witch, but that's different from obeying or anything like that.
Well, yeah, she didn't. Well, I mean, Beatrice made that nice dinner for her, and she wouldn't eat any of it. Yeah, no Golden Land for you.
I mean,
Could
I
it be
think
that
part of it.
simple? Genuinely, like, how does Beatrice operate here?
Well, does denying the witch mean not believing in her, or just not doing what she says?
Yeah, because I think it's
the former,
denying.
but-
Yeah, but she did, yeah, because she did say at the end, like, you are a real witch, but still does not seem to want to obey her.
That brings me back to like thinking about Christianity again, because I grew up not Christian, and I always get confused whether like being a Christian means believing in God or obeying God.
And I want to point out real quick that the wine that Christians drink is the blood of Christ. Like it's literally supposed to be the blood of Christ. And then
it's
depends on which denomination you are.
Yeah, it depends on the
true,
denomination.
It's a matter of debate.
Yeah, it's what was it? What was I think it was Roman Catholic. But yeah, and then also
Roman Catholic.
the crackers, those that's supposed to be
Eucharist.
Flesh.
Yeah.
That crackers is a
Eucharist,
way better name for it. You say Eucharist, no one knows what you're talking about. You say cracker, everybody knows what you're talking. You are correct. You're lighting the flame of all of my memories of going to Sunday school. So thank you for that.
Sorry.
Nah, it's all good. None of it was good, really. Sometimes I would play on the jungle gym, and that was cool. But anyway, but yeah. So like Rosa, like that makes me interested because like Battler fully submitted to Beatrice, fully submitted by the end of that episode.
Yeah, actually, because I feel like this is a solid segue into my talking point, which was about but like the way this game is set up seems to be largely in Battler's favor. Right? So like it's mentioned a couple times that Beatrice is not making optimal moves. Like there's a point where like Battler realizes it during the thing, and then later on Lambda has like a number of lines that we can like go over because I think they're all like interesting to look at. And like I don't think any of them will like really involve needing spoilers for Lambda, so that's fine enough to talk about. But yeah, so Beatrice is like noted as not making optimal moves, and Battler also seems to like, as long as he by the end of the whole thing says, no, I do not believe you're a witch, and or like I don't believe witches are real, I don't believe this could have been done with magic, any of that sort of like denials about how things work, he's still allowed to keep going. Whereas Beatrice seems to have a hard lose state of Battler figures something, like he is able to fully properly deny witches, which seems to be a much harder lose state for her than it is for him. And I'm just interested in why you all think that Beatrice might have set up the game this way.
I think it's more interesting for her.
Mm-hmm.
She feels like she's so powerful. Kind of nice for her to give herself
a strong risk.
She has a mind break.
Kind of nice
kink.
for her to give Battler a couple extra stars at the beginning of the Mario Party game.
Yeah, it's like a what is that called? Handicap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that Battler got kind of lucky in that Rosa was denying him hard from at least the point where Battler gave up in the middle of events through the point where Beatrice breaks her in the Tea Party banquet. but at that point, Battler's kind of picked himself up and is able to resist again. So there's no real point at which there wasn't somebody denying the witch.
That's right. It was at the end of the first one where everyone was like, "Oh, if only you had just done it. We all did. You're holding us back. You're this one person."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what exactly is Beatrice's win condition? Is it everybody acknowledges her?
It seems to be that everybody acknowledges her, but like specifically within this game, that Battler acknowledges her and like, you know, concedes witches and magic is real, and or at least, you know, definitely witches and magic did this specific murder or murders ?
So did Rosa win the game for the second episode?
I mean, she didn't prove anything, right? Because like the win condition for Battler is that he has to prove that witches aren't real. Rosa only denied it, so it's sort of a stalemate there.
Yeah, I guess that's, you know, she didn't win.
Did we
but
ever
he didn't
hear
lose.
him? Did he ever like outright acknowledge her, or did he just kind of give up and get naked?
We need to go
I don't
through
remember
the
if he actually said a line.
I
That
do
might
remember.
be part of it.
I think
that's a good point. Yeah,
that also might be a part of it. It might have been a strategy from Battler to like show his ass to everybody and get eaten alive, so that you could just see. I'm not even kind. I'm kind of not even kidding, because like I was
getting
thinking
nude
that
at debate club for the points.
if I was in this game and I was like, if I was Battler, I would kind of be interested in pushing the like just seeing what happens. It's kind of like a Groundhog Day situation where it's like
he's checking for fall damage.
Yeah, he's like testing the limitations of like the game, and what one of the things that I would be very curious about is what happens like if everything, like if you play into Beatrice's wishes, if you keep living past the point where, you know, she like brings about like whatever the hell the party, I forget what it was called, the golden something
banquet.
Banquet.
Open the door to Golden Land.
I think for Battler's perspective, information is so vital, and just learning as much as you can, however you can do it, pushing the limits, testing for fall damage. Yeah, like I totally forgot I said that. But yeah, like doing things like that and just figuring it out. I think that's very vital, and I'm hoping he does more of that. I'm hoping there's a chapter where it's literally just like he tests out a theory, or like I think this is gonna, and then he immediately is killed, and then it's another chapter. That would be very funny. It's like, that game went by real quick, didn't it?
Rosa denying Beatrice or being the holdout in the end kind of proved something about the rules for Battler, I think.
Did we hear her deny her? Because she said at the end that she was a witch.
Well, being the holdout in the record.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, that's what
I'm on book club. Sorry. I think that if someone saw I will keep torturing you until you accept that I am the ruler, someone might speedrun to the end of that situation by saying, okay, I just accept you. No skin off my nose. But we got proven that that's not enough. Somebody else is gonna step in and take that role, and also submitting is going to be painful for him.
Yeah, I guess I just need more information on like what exactly the win conditions are. Like I need that in red text, you know? I need to know exactly what Beatrice's win condition is. I need to know
so I want him to
exactly
ask her more questions and tell her to respond in red text. Like,
yeah. And we need more red text.
Yeah.
In the credits, it said that because none of the 18 solved the epitaph in time, Beatrice is declared the victor.
That's what I was thinking, like, because it's almost like the whole point of this is to distract Battler from the actual thing they need to be doing. Even Maria was trying to fucking figure it out all by herself, which I love that for her. She is the greatest girl alive. And I felt really bad when she was served with apples. That was I felt
I
rude.
wish she was alive.
Wow.
I have kind of the opposite opinion about the
What?
epitaph.
Oh, okay.
About the epitaph.
Oh my
because
I was gonna ban you. I'm
I
sorry.
hate Maria. Fuck that kid.
because
I have the opposite opinion. Fuck Maria. How can you
No,
hate
but-
this? How can you
Fuck
hate
them,
her?
kid.
How? Okay, go ahead.
So, my opinion on the epitaph is that Beatrice wants us solving it, and that that's exactly the puzzle we shouldn't be solving for some. I'm not sure why we shouldn't be solving it, except mostly that Beatrice wants us to. I mean, Maria is all into solving it, but also in the episode 1 tea party, the other cousins were like, "Hey, stop thinking about how it could have been. It was a witch. A witch did it. Let's solve the epitaph puzzle instead."
When did they say solve the epitaph instead in episode 1?
Was that the tea party?
The tea party, yes. So
I don't
sort
think
of
they were
outside.
talking
Yeah, they were
about
saying like
solving.
they were
Were
saying
they?
like, oh man, maybe we could have actually not died if we'd actually sat down and tried to solve the puzzle, but we didn't. We got distracted by other stuff. Oh well.
And then and in particular when Beatrice starts killing all of the cousins again, Jessica in particular seems to kind of regain control of herself once she's suffering and dying, and she kind of grabs onto Battler and says, "Don't give in, resist her."
Well, we could sit here for another few minutes thinking in silence, but we also did kind of get distracted from Talsreel's clues and contradictions. To get back to that real quick, I was going to say that Maria's view of witches is framed as wholly positive in episode 1. I don't necessarily think that's true, because I think that there's a distinction that even Maria is making about when she says witches, generally, I think she views them, I think they're her hyperfocus. I think that she really likes witches, but I think she also, given the information that we got from the second episode, knows that at least one bad witch exists. And I think that she knows that in episode 1 as well. And I think that she is like mentally separating them for a reason, basically. But I get what I get the thrust of what you're trying to say, yeah.
I think in episode 1, I can believe that she also was thinking like, my mom has a bad witch possessing her. Like, I think that probably is consistent.
Yeah, and I think a twist on that would maybe be the view of witches that the adults and some of the children want to push onto Maria is that all witches are positive. They don't want, much like you wouldn't want to, I feel like a lot of adults and teenagers interacting with children is like obscuring as much of the real world and the nastiness that like the real world can bring from children, and kind of protecting them from that. And I think that that's what they're trying to do with Maria. They're trying to treat it like Santa. Like, Santa's not, Santa just is cool, holy. Even with some of the Halloween stuff, it was like, I don't think that they ever meant to be. I think that witches were just a fun thing that they wanted to give to her. But Maria knows that there is at least one bad witch. So I think if we had more conversations with her in episode 1, that she would probably even talk about that. The thing that's really disturbing to me is that Maria is just unfazed at all of this crazy shit that's happening to her, and like all of the shit that's happening around her. And she's just like, yeah, no, that's a bunch of people ripped stem to sternum and had Halloween candy stuffed in them.
And that's my
Maracas,
continued
hey Bob, whenever
annoyance,
you get
I
back to
guess.
making videos,
Sorry.
are you going to do one on this game? Maybe. Sorry, Maracas highlighted a message for me. Also, you can call me Roberto if you want to. I don't mind. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I forgot what I was saying.
Continued annoyance.
Oh, well, that was me.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, this was referring back to what I was saying at the end of the episode 1 book club, is the kind of autistic stereotype of not emotionally responding to death. And I understand that in, like, context, I feel like in context it's meant to be, like, she doesn't, like, process, like, for her it's all worth it, you know? Because they're all going to the Golden Land. So, it's like, to her, she sees this stuff and it's like, aw, shucks, oh well, it'll be worth it. So, that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
It just also,
Yeah.
it still bugs me a little bit. I don't know.
And
it's very much like Christian resurrection belief.
Yeah, and that's kind of
like,
what
we're gonna
I
have
was.
to deal with all the hellfire and the apocalypse and stuff and the Antichrist, but we'll all go to heaven anyways.
Yeah, they're like, that's why a bunch
Okay,
of.
but also, like, when, even if, like, somebody is, like, the sort of Christian who thinks it's like, oh, those children are in heaven now, they're still, like, sad and upset when children die.
Yeah, and I think that's part of my complaint. I don't know.
Yeah, I think what Jan is go ahead.
There's a little bit more to this as we'll come across it. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna start talking about. But go ahead. Was that Rusty?
She is a abused child, so it could be that she is, like, a little bit disconnected from the actions and consequences and all that.
Bit of a dissociation there.
Yeah, and how everybody might as well start dying. That's what I used to. Like, I might as well just wake up one day and I'm, like, grounded without knowing why.
Yeah. No, that was Rosa that we were getting that interiority on, that we were getting that sort of information about. But I think the thing that Jan is maybe hinting at is, like, think about it from a game piece's perspective. Maybe even because that's one of the sort of quote unquote superpowers that a lot of characters in these kinds of situations have. Or, like, name your favorite isekai, and mainly like a big thing that separates the sort of, like, uber powerful characters from, like, the other characters is the ability to not just rewind time, but retain information from when they rewound. And one of the things that I'm picking up with Maria is maybe I'm definitely getting some. I mean, I think you're totally on the mark. That we're all kind of in agreement that Maria is very possibly on the spectrum. But I think that one of the things that's interesting about her predicament is, imagine it from the perspective of someone who is trying to figure shit out, but can't because everybody's playing a different game. And imagine yourself in this situation where you know the win condition. You know that we need to solve this puzzle, but everybody else has a different idea of what that win condition is. And so the thing I'm trying to say is, what if Maria knows? What if, does she know?
Does she know?
I wish I had her version of this, but
I'm on it. I'll make it for next time.
Okay. But does she, like, is she retaining information from each loop? Is she caught in this fucked up situation of, like, I am seeing these people die over and over and over and over again, and I'm trying to play the game, because one of the things that makes me think that is, remember when she was talking about the wolves and sheep puzzle? She's
done all of them.
She's done all of them. She knows all of all of those puzzles. Who doesn't? Her mom, Rosa. So it's like, I view that as kind of a little hint that maybe she's got more to her and more going on with her than maybe we're being led to believe. I think that she might be trapped. I think that, and that's one of the interesting things about this is, like, what if they're all what if this is happening to all of them? Maybe not all immediately all at once, but maybe I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here because I'm like kind of doing it like, how would I write a story like this? But anyway,
I don't know if Goda's doing this.
Oh yeah, no, Goda's clueless. Yeah, no, I love how even we are metaphorically stepping over his corpse.
Does Goda know?
Even in the middle.
Fuck no. Sorry.
Even in the middle of the scene, he says, "I don't know what's going on."
He was so freaked out. Oh my god, what's that?
I still think that there's a possibility that he's like on the spectrum. It's just like high functioning and is masking a lot of the time.
Well, that's. I wanted to kind of get into that on my topic about gender relations, because that's kind of the only assumption. That's an assumption you can really only make about male characters who are acting selfishly. Like, well, maybe he's just doing this. Well, maybe just this. But he's forcing dirty work onto children because he doesn't want to do it, is the thing. It's not like... It's kind of the only... Like, you can only... That's the type of credence that we really only ever give to men is, well, maybe. And it's like, us autistic people can be jerks too, is the thing.
All the time.
He doesn't
as an autistic person.
He doesn't give me autistic energy. He just gives me like guy who kind of sucks energy, and obviously it can be both.
He's
can be both.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's a major difference between someone who's like who isn't good with social stuff versus someone who just doesn't care.
I guess. Well, I guess my issue is that just like I am in a situation like where I don't know, just maybe I'm not reading. You're right. He's pointing that onto. I mean, yeah. No, I can't really.
It's like always Shannon who has to go take the brunt for his mistakes or go do something that he doesn't want to do, and then Shannon gets yelled at for it.
Yeah, in his case, it's definitely. I don't know if you've worked with people who are fucking like shitty, who do this thing, who deploy that kind of behavior strategically.
It's like weaponized incompetence. I think is kind of also.
It's not even weaponized.
It's not. Yeah. It's having a fall person. It's strategically like saying, "Oh, you go do this thing." Yeah.
Yeah, he
and
doesn't
want
to
delegated to this person.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose face.
Yeah.
I guess my feeling is that if we are, is that I am. I think by the end of this story, we are going to feel we are going to be feeling sympathetic to most every character. And I think, like,
I'm not saying that we're not. I fucking
highly,
I always say I hate that guy.
Think that you are
I am
correct.
affectionate towards this guy.
I think
that affection for Goda.
I think that I think that that's just a thing that happens.
Hold
when
on,
you
I want to interrogate that.
Get more information on people. Go ahead.
When you say every character, are you including Beatrice in that?
Of course.
Yeah, I think it'd be. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean,
we're gonna learn some shit about her. I know it.
We're
already learning stuff.
Like Shinzo crashing out completely about how he wants to like just possess her again. Yeah, no, that's
her toenails.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. If anyone, I like Beatrice. I think the entire point of this, and it is to learn. Like I think like much. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming too much. But I think everybody here, let me know if I'm wrong, would assume that the epitaph is about Beatrice, and that we are going to learn like what was one of the questions, like her homeland, and all of this
is Fish
River.
I think we're going to learn a lot about her and why she's doing what she's doing, and I think that her specifically kind of giving the impression that they shouldn't be focusing on that, like she is strategically. Of course she's doing that. That's the fucking win condition. No wonder she's like playing games with these other fucking characters because she's fucking distracting them away from the thing they need to do. I'm an idiot. Of course she's doing that. No fucking wonder. Oh my god. No wonder that was extreme difficulty on episode 2. No one cared. No one gave a shit.
Yeah.
They at least talked about it a little bit in episode 1.
Yeah, and I think a disadvantage that everyone all the characters have is, I remember in episode 1 they were reading the epitaph and seeing it as being from Kinzo's point of view.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is an unfortunate disadvantage they have, is that every round, until they find out about Beatrice's existence, they're not going to try to read it from that perspective. Like,
because I think they're not. Go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
I was just going to say that the main thing that I and what the larger thrust of what we're talking about is, I think that Beatrice is not being afforded that sort of empathy because she is in this position of power over these other characters. But I think that power also is her weakness, and I think that the game is going to subvert that and show how fucking Beatrice seems like a sad person. I'm just saying, she's doing a lot of this shit, and I'm not getting that she's really. She views this as a game, but I think that she views it as a game for a reason. I think that she is a witch for a reason. I just don't know how the circumstances of that happened. Her being so sad, and whether it was a ghost or whether it was actually her or whether it was like some other version of her, I do not know. But when Beatrice was looking like just sadly at Kinzo, who couldn't see her, it really made me like, what the fuck is going on there?
I mean,
why is she like? I need to know more about her, and I think we're gonna know more about her. And I think that she's viewing this as a game as almost like a way, like, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. Let's see if it sticks. A red text or what? No, red text is definite. Let's do like blue text, where it's like locked in on a theory. I think that Beatrice is. How do I say this? I'm trying to word this very specifically. Is Beatrice... I think Beatrice...
is God.
No.
A victim?
A bird.
A real witch.
A moth. A butterfly. A real witch.
What is she?
She's oh shit, she's at my door.
Yeah.
I think Beatrice.
Right behind you.
It's Beatrice.
Sorry, I kind of forgot what I was saying.
You fucking what?
Yeah, I kind of
Finish
forgot.
your sentence, man.
No, I legitimately like. I legitimately got lost in the idea of blue text versus red text, and then I forgot what I was gonna say.
Blue text.
Where did blue text come from?
I will never forgive anyone for interrupting him here.
Well, I interrupted
We just
myself.
lost
basically.
the best theory of all time.
I think Beatrice. Let's just keep talking. I'll remember it. My brain like melted out of my ears.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, we've got a couple. We got two separate things here that are tying in with this.
Just to back up a little
Golden
bit.
Sorcerer and I.
Yeah, no, it's related.
Golden
yeah.
Sorcerer and I both. Oh, sorry.
What I was trying to say is to back up to what Bob was saying about are we going to get like a good view into why Beato's doing this. You did get a good view into why she's doing this, I believe, when she went on a extremely long tirade about how men feel and how men view relationships, and she's going like, "Oh, they only want you for sex." And
I remember it.
Yay!
Sorry.
Say it.
Do you want to finish, Ekat?
No, continue.
Real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I literally just I got excited because I remembered it. Blue text. I think Beatrice is playing this game like some people play video games to avoid thinking about certain things as a way of escaping. I think that Beatrice is suffering. And I think that, yeah, she's viewing this as escapism, this game that we are playing. That this is the result of we are playing much like Kinzo was playing with Nanjo and Genji playing a game of chess between friends, but I think that she's crying while she's playing chess. Blue
But
text.
she is playing Animal Crossing.
Do people cry when they play Animal Crossing?
I meant like as the escapism. Like I'm thinking about like
Yes,
2020
yes, okay,
COVID
that.
stuff.
I was
That's too comfy. That's too comfy. She's playing Newgrounds torture game.
Hold on, Bob, do people cry when they play chess?
Well, that's the point. Is like if you're,
But you were like,
What if
If
chess
you're
made you
questioning
cry?
Jules on playing.
if you're
Animal
playing with
Well, what
friends,
if you saw the pieces kill each other for real?
What if
What
two
if the
chess
pieces killed
pieces
each
were
other
on the
with
moon,
knives?
and they were the only two people on the moon, and one of them had a rock and beat the other to death? Would that be fucked up or what?
And they were in love.
When they kissed
It
on the
makes it so
moon,
much worse.
finger pointy emoji.
Another
Then the
way
astronauts
to
on them.
I love how y'all jumped on me for crying while playing chess, and yet Kinzo has been doing that literally this entire time. Literally the whole game.
That is the
I'm
misogyny.
True.
Stop crying. Good.
Can't believe
Can
you
I,
play
yeah,
chess on
I
your
wanted to
fucking
get-
phone. Get real.
So we were talking about her interiority here and potential suffering and interaction with the what. Thank you, iCat, for bringing us back to it with the discussion of love and lust. Golden Sorcerer, please get a word in. Are they here?
Golden Saucer.
No.
I think
What?
that they said that they weren't going to be able to hear, or was that somebody else's
goddamn.
topic?
Let me
No,
check
that's
up
a-
in the
Well,
chat,
let's
yeah.
talk about it.
It has overlap with mine.
Okay. Who wants to say Golden Sorcerer's topic?
I guess I can. Shit. Yeah, because it overlaps with mine. So what they had to write here was in episode 2 we get a bigger focus on Shannon, and in particular her relationship with Beatrice. The topic of love was a main topic they discussed, with Beatrice declaring it the single element that makes up the world. Later on in Natsuhi's room, Beatrice, I'm so sorry, and Shannon argue about what love means, about those statements about how love is lust and totally meaningless without sexual activities. These seems to contradict what she said earlier about love, so I'm curious about your thoughts on that. I wanted to also make a note of my own about how I think that there is a very good read here that I was considering during my read-through rather, is that they're operating very effectively as to extreme reactions to relationships with men in terms of like very willful, almost like blind faith and naivete versus extreme cynicism. And I noticed a lot of people were saying like, oh, who hurt you? And it's also like, well, you know, men are like this, aren't they? But like I think it's very interesting in the way that it was utilizing those two characters who are in very different situations or have very different reactions to it, in the context of how gender relations and dynamics have been, because we see so much of Shannon doing the dirty work, not just with Goda and having to take the brunt for not knowing the name of the tea that he had her go push out there. She had to dig around in a corpse's pockets, and then she also had to be the one to like actually find the pen and break open the fucking box. She got 2 adult men with her. This 16-year-old's doing all of it, man. And then she got the fucking magic shield. Girls out here have to work.
I mean, that's what she was built for.
She's just built
Should
like
we
that.
be built for that? But should we be?
Well, I'm not saying women. I'm saying like
He's like here
homunculously.
furniture.
Oh, I know. I'm speaking symbolically here.
Yeah.
Because in a way, are we not expected to do that? Are we not expected to? We are.
Just to go back to that point about Goda real quick, which I was trying to bring up earlier as well. Goda is obsessed with optics, and a lot of the characters in this visual novel are obsessed with optics, which is related to like basically what both Beatrice and, well, you know, Shannon in some regard, which because Shannon's all about the in this entire chapter is just her about like the true nature of love, and Beatrice being like, well, aren't you a grown girl at this point? Shouldn't you know what men's intentions are? And like it's all like all of it is about just optics and like how people are seen want to be seen, right? So Beatrice is taking the most negative impression of that, and while Shannon, the stereotypical view of like a girl in both like George's and like everyone's eye is taking the more optimistic, true love wins at the end of the day. It's all, it's
I
optimistic.
mean, that reminds me of Jessica's friends and how like she felt like they were all looking down at her for not having a boyfriend. You know, like all these optics of like.
When in
she
reality,
have a
they're all
man.
probably looking down on her because of her, family and the position of
have
power
a
they have over
thought.
them, and that's why the entire town is at the end of the episode. Anyway, go on.
What if the reason for Beatrice's seemingly conflicting things about love, because it's not just when she speaks about, like without love it cannot be seen. She's also very like big on the whole, like when selling Shannon on, breaking the mirror, on making this deal, she is very much talking up love. And my question is, because I genuinely don't remember, which outfit is she wearing then, and which outfit is she wearing in Natsuhi's room when she goes on that huge rant about how, men are just, animals.
I forget if she
Inventory
switched back
gown.
into the dress.
Was she in the dress at the time?
Yeah.
She was in the dress during their initial conversations because that was like before.
Yeah, because when did she like
Everything.
shift into the dress? Like
When she appeared in front of Rosa,
Yeah.
she was when she went into the school outfit, and the dress kind of appears intermittently after that.
Yeah. And so when she appeared to Rosa, which time? Because she appeared to Rosa at the very beginning,
In the
right?
Rosa.
Not Rosa, Shannon. Sorry, I made the mistake
Shannon.
now.
Okay. Yeah. Did she shift to Shannon in that scene? But she was wearing the. I think it's very. I think you hit something very, very good, Spider-Man. I think you're on to something, which is, I think that we're meant to just not think about the fact that there are now two different paintings portraying the same person. There is a woman who looks just like Beatrice, but in a schoolgirl outfit or something. I don't really know what that is.
It's more like just kind of a trendy suit.
Trendy suit. In the one-piece suit. Beatrice in a one-piece suit. There you go. But like, I think that we are kind of being led to think that those are the same person when I think that is a false assumption. I think you're totally on to something there because you are right. That is a contradiction. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't in Tal's contradictions list, because that is probably the biggest contradiction. The way that Beatrice is talking about love and all of this like time that she gives to like talking about love. Granted, it might be deception that she's deploying, but why would she be doing it and saying these things in the first place? For me, it's the way that the Beatrice that's talking to Shannon when in the scene right before she's killed in whose room is that? Is that Ava's?
Natsuhi's.
In Natsuhi's room is like a different, like it's like a younger person's, like a not sort of. It's not a more. I don't want to say it's a. It is a different conclusion that someone would come to if they haven't like really experienced love. If they've experienced.
Oh shit!
What's
I just
that?
had a thought.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of incredible for that discussion to be happening about her and her, not an affair, but definitely quote unquote inappropriate relationship out of love in the bedroom of the woman who had a arranged marriage as a teenager and has lived on this island thanklessly for 30 fucking years. It's in her bedroom that they're doing this.
Yeah, they've brought up the idea of Kinzo having a bastard so many times. I feel like there has to be something to that, you know?
Honestly, the way. Is it weird that sometimes when Beatrice is talking to Battler, I kind of get like mom vibes. I kind of get like she's trying to teach him a lesson, like in a way that a mother would try to teach their child a lesson. Kind of, sort of, sometimes a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting mommy vibes.
Christ.
Yeah.
Something that Jan that I was thinking about during the episode, and I wasn't even thinking about like bringing this up because it really is a larger trope, but it kind of fits into what you're saying is like Shannon, her power is a barrier, right? This happens in a lot of media, but like I feel like women are almost always portrayed as like these either a healer or a like a barrier generator or protector. And in this context,
Cannon get the sword.
Cannon gets a sword. And like you could say things like this kind of fits into what you're saying because this literally happens in the scene where it's like I was half expecting Beatrice to be like, oh yeah, nice barrier. Be a shame if I penetrated it because that's what you do with, you know, your power. And it's like, you know, especially as someone who made a video game such as the one that you made. I'll never forget that ending. Thank you very much. Anyway.
Cannon did technically apologize for the size of his sword.
Did he? I forgot about that.
The girl he loves.
Oh, no. That would be so funny if they were just like so like I'm sorry, I'm latched on to this idea that they're all just high out, like completely fucked up on they like macrodosed some fucking bullshit and they're all losing their minds. And so yeah, literally there is a space in my mind for Cannon to have like whipped out his
Jessica, I'm not going to like this.
I'm sorry. No, repeat this in full. You believe that they imbibed some sort of hallucinogen, and then Cannon took his dick out in front of Jessica. That is your theory in blue text.
And she thinks that it's a fucking beam sword.
That's your blue text theory for what's going on here, Bob.
No, it's not. No. Blue is for locked in. No, I'm not locked in on that. It's
locked in completely.
It's a piss take. It's piss.
The golden.
Oh, he pissed too, did he?
Oh, the golden witch.
So you're saying that when Shannon gets high, she's like, I have magic shield. Get behind me, George.
A hug. Give him the shield.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. Yes, that is the. Now I want an episode of this of Umineko where it is literally them all doing this shit, where it's like presented in like reality, like an observer's view of it, where they're all just like just watching high people do like babysitting an entire mansion of people who got fucking high as shit. Anyway, all right, that is not blue text.
Just like the idea of someone like not having this mythical being not having a sword or a shield and just having Ken doll anatomy.
What power do you think Genji has? Does he have non-binary power? Is that the secret?
So we have non-binary Goda and non-binary Genji. How many more can we get?
I think it's gay power, if we're being real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got. I think he's got a generator. In his tum.
A generator,
tummy.
You say?
Yeah.
Like that could be used to power a house.
Explain this. Do gay people have generators in their stomach? Is this how this works?
Yes. Not?
They supply the.
So I'm only non-binary and mostly straight. I'm not quite gay enough yet. So I must not have been given this.
The yet there is so goddamn.
Yeah, they cut open your stomach like that scene with Cannon, and they put in a battery.
Yeah.
Damn, that sounds kind of cool. Maybe I should try to be more gay.
Yeah, you can be like
Genji. Yes.
If only we could all be like Genji. What's that?
I have to get going. Sorry. Love this conversation. Can't wait to watch the VOD.
All right.
Yes.
Catch you later. All right, that is our hint that we should probably keep pushing.
Yeah, we're at the halfway point right here. So we can. How about Mel?
Hello.
Do we in fact have a Mel?
I'm here.
I'm pushing you on stage. Get talking.
Hello. This was touched on a bit in the last one. But I was just kind of interested in seeing like the parallel / differences in Rosa and Natsuki's role this time around.
Yeah.
I think it was mentioned like last time that like they're both like the put upon, disrespected, lower status women in the family. But then, because everyone above them basically dies status-wise, they're kind of like forced in the position of both like not just team leader but also self-assumed mother. And so we have interesting. We see like different like history doesn't repeat but it rhymes, where both of them they gets the guns and both of them react a certain way to like, oh, there's a mysterious envelope that is here for some reason. Why is it here?
I think that
I will be very curious. I want to see a round where Kyrie survives the first
same
bunch of deaths.
1000%.
I feel like she could do some crazy solving shit.
Oh
I feel
yeah.
like she's OP.
If I had a hunch, I suspect Kyrie will not survive next time, but maybe the time after. Because I feel like
Beatrice has to take her out because she knows that Kyrie could beat her single-handedly. I feel like.
I feel like because Kyrie's the chessboard for us. I feel like they want to build up to it. That's just my gut feeling.
I think Kyrie is going to be either episode 4 or later. I think that Ava might be one of the next ones, and that is also fascinating, but for the opposite reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fascinating that what you're. Did you have more?
Yeah, like more specifically, I was like noticing like Rosa is different in a lot of ways from Natsuhi and how she does things, even if they're in similar roles. Which I guess makes sense because they're different people. But there's like a degree to which I've noticed Rosa almost feels to like relish in her authority and has a vindictive attitude.
Yeah,
like she seems so giddy at the idea of being able to accuse the servants, and then when her theory of Canon being potentially the culprit is proved right, she's like so proud of herself in a way.
Yeah,
well, what happens when you take a bullied kid and give them power, huh?
Literally what I was going to say is like her sort of coping mechanism to deal with the bullying and all of the bullshit that she had to deal with from Kraus, Ava, and Rudolph was it was that sort of like coping mechanism that helped her survive. But now that they're gone and she's put in that power position, those coping mechanisms are like put upon other people, or like are used it's like the end of another strategy that has been inflicted upon everybody in her vicinity, and it kind of fucking sucks. So however, I did want to really quickly point out, if y'all remember the scene in Kinzo's study at the end of episode 1, when Natsuhi was interrogated about what would happen if people were to interrogate Shannon. No, not Shannon. I keep doing
Jessica.
Jessica. If people were to interrogate Jessica, and then I think it was George and Battler who were like, you would go crazy on people. You would like fucking murder everybody, wouldn't you? And she was like, I think she didn't even respond to that, but she was kind of like, oh yeah. So it's like, in that way, there might be something being said here about motherhood. I definitely think that there's something being said about the nature of like the way that Natsuhi tried to protect all of the kids, and the way that Rosa tried to protect her kid
like she starts like being I'm all your moms now, assertively, without any input, and then does slowly wind down to Jess Maria. I do think it's interesting, like when
you remember how she relished George leaving, and she was just like,
she does, like when Battler inspects George and Shannon's body, stepping over Kota's, she does like violently jerk him away from inspecting them as well. Like she's in some ways, like in her authority, starting to replicate her own behaviors towards her other quote unquote children too.
Dude, the way that
there was that note.
Oh my god, she killed Shannon, didn't she? She stabbed her in the head with the fucking pen, and then put the fucking stake in it to hide it, didn't she? Because when she did that move at the end, when she put the pen in the middle of her fist and then punched that one, I was just
That's a big hole for a pen.
That's a big hole for a stake. The stakes,
before you suggested a gunshot, I think.
Yeah, and that's also in the cards. What I'm trying to say is that I don't believe the way that was set up, and maybe it's just because it was a CG scene and the way that CG scenes are deployed in a lot of these games is to get you to like kind of second guess what you're seeing or provide you a perspective that will then be flipped later, or it's emphasizing. It's just emphasis. And it's just making me second guess what I'm seeing, basically.
I also think, yeah, your point about when a bullied kid gets authority seems like that's a very logical thing for them. But I also wonder if it's like equally perhaps true. There's also the case of like you have Natsuhi sort of embracing the whole I have the Ushiromiya crest in my heart, and so she's like, oh, now I have to assume the responsibility of living up to what that actually means, and so she carries herself in some way. Yeah. Whereas Rose is almost like, finally my birthright.
Yeah, I was gonna say Natsumi feels the need to prove herself. Rosa feels like she is owed something that she has never had, and to be honest, she is a little bit, but like in the sense that like I don't think her siblings should have treated her like that. But I think that Natsumi does have this kind of instinct to be like proving herself that Rosa just doesn't have, even though they both are in similar positions of being the overlooked ones.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out that there was that bit where it was pointing out in the tea party how Rosa's siblings would act differently alone with her versus with each other.
Yeah.
And how people will take on the traits of others sort of as a sense of like embodying their power.
Yeah. Rudolph in particular was interesting because he was embodying the power of both Ava and Kinzo, and the way that he was described was like, or not Kinzo,
and Klaus.
Kraus.
Yeah. Kraus is smart, Ava's clever, and Rudolph gets things done. And
the thing that was said was he was able to dish out 2 people's worth of like punishment onto Rosa, and I found that fascinating.
I wonder
because in a power
how Kraus
vacuum,
and Ava treated him. Was there a chain of the youngest child being bullied? Because Rosa was quite a bit younger than the other ones, right? So when Rudolph was the youngest, how did his older siblings treat him? I wonder.
I think that the way that Rudolph is described, and just from my own personal like sort of experience with family dynamics, I think that he, what is it called, mirroring, where he would mirror the sort of aspects of either Kraus or Ava,
right, yes.
And then that way they wouldn't be so much antagonistic towards him. They would view him as like sort of an extension of themselves to get shit done. And I feel like we've seen that a bit by bit in the story so far, which makes me very curious about what he would do, because he also, need to remind y'all, has a father who he may have also picked up some sort of like his traits.
Yeah, I was about to get into it, is that this family is also highly patriarchal.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then
so,
she's the unmarried mother at the bottom of the sibling hierarchy.
When she should be at the top.
Well, I need to know more about Maria's dad. Because, like, I think that at the beginning of the episode, she said something about, like, oh, Maria, if you weren't like this, your father wouldn't need to be away on trips all the time or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what is this dude's deal? Well, or is, like, that just like a lie that...
I think it was a lie.
Like, yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know. I had a theory early on that, I don't know, it kind of makes me feel bad, so I don't want to say it. But
I know the one you mean, yeah.
Yeah. I really don't want that to be true. I was ideating on that one, so even though it has a little bit of, anyway.
Right.
You might be able to infer it by.
No, I think I'm inferring it now. Yeah, that's rough. That's
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is also just that, like, no matter what the actual dad is doing, it's just he is gone. There's no question about that. That is, I think, the like his absence already says a lot.
Right. And it makes me think, like, what would happen if... What was the other guy? What was Ava's husband's name?
Hideyoshi.
What would happen if Hideyoshi wasn't totally on board with all of Ava's machinations? Like, would he suddenly be disappeared? Like,
well, you did theorize that she killed him.
Ava? Yeah. She would totally do that. I could totally see Ava do that. I mean, she's a goddess, so. she's allowed.
Also, I don't know what's up with like when she chews out the servants. There's like almost like a Beatrice laugh when Rose is like, finally, you can't trust furniture, and Battler goes off. I was like, man, that's weird. What's up with that?
Yeah. We specifically heard when Rosa was talking at one point. So it's like kind of like is Beatrice a state of mind, or
I also wonder if that ties into like we get the scene before midnight where all the adults are in the chapel, and then the morning after it's like, well, this chapel has been sealed the whole day, no one has been in here, etc., etc. And then it's like, well, we saw 7 people, we saw like 8 people in there, and now there's only 6 bodies. What's up with that? That's weird.
Yeah.
I also doesn't remember.
Actually, that kind of segues into it. I know we talked about it in the bed, but I think it is important to actually get into it. The actual locked room mystery is what are we thinking? I know Spider Man has a little thing about hidden doors in the dock, and I think that is a good time to segue nicely into that. Just the locked room mysteries in general.
But also,
do you want to read it?
I think Spider left. But
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So, to his words, does a potential hidden room door have to allow for both entry and exit of a room? Would a hidden chute of some sort, or allowing quick travel to a room below, not be considered a hidden door? He's talking about an Acme-style hole in the ground. Okay.
Well, wasn't that explicitly talked about in text? Like, didn't we get some red text about that, where it was like a door is okay? Yeah. There are no hidden doors in this room. There is no way to get in or out other than the door in these rooms. There are absolutely no types of hidden doors. This door is the only way in or out. The only way to lock this door. I'm trying to find like the exact one, but what exactly a hidden door was talked about explicitly, and it was this idea that like I think Battler was trying to get a gotcha on Beatrice, and it backfired, and that's one of the things that led to him kind of having a broken state of mind, because he theorized that like the trick that Beatrice was deploying was like making a distinction for or an over sort of arching idea of a hidden door, but actually meaning like deploying it broadly, possibly, but actually deploying it very specifically to talk about doors, something you can exit or enter a room with. And then Beatrice says there are no hidden doors in room. There is no way to get in or out other than the doors in these rooms. There are no hidden doors. So like, I think Battler specifically was like, well, what if there is a compartment? What if there is like a locker or like a place for someone to hide, much like Kinzo was hinted at being able to do? Because I remember something early on in episode 1 about how there are a lot of like different layouts for rooms, or there were a lot of like hallways or like hidden like compartments and stuff in the mansion, and that led to the conversation of like when they went into Kinzo's room and he wasn't there, when there was some text about how like, oh no, he probably could hide away in a false wall and just stay there for like a while, you know?
Yeah, I will say there was a thing that like Beatrice specifically said to Battler in this section, this chunk of the episode, which was that a common rule in mystery novels is that there shouldn't be any hidden passages, which I think is interesting. And
I think that's literally not true. There's very often hidden passageways. Like,
so okay, yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, but what's considered a good mystery, quote unquote, is one that doesn't involve hidden rooms. We talked about it in a previous book club, but Ronald Knox, the man who was in the detective club with Agatha Christie and all that, laid that out as one of his key rules. That like, if you're creating a mystery, locked rooms are just, not kosher, right? They're not fun.
Didn't Beatrice specifically mention that? Or
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Specifically, no more than one is allowed. Because if you just keep going, oh, and there was a hidden door. Oh, and there was a hidden door.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
It doesn't work.
Which is kind of
you get one.
Which is kind of the point of like why I'm with Battler on denying the existence of witches, because in order for this mystery to be satisfying, it shouldn't deploy that kind of shit of like, oh no, what is it like? It's like playground, like conjure like playground sort of like antics of like, oh, I shoot my antimatter ray at you. Well, I am not made of matter, so it doesn't work. And it's like, God fucking damn it. Then you can't do anything.
Oh, my power is times infinity. Infinity in 1, infinity in 2.
Infinity plus infinity.
Pardon me.
And it's that type of shit while we have the red text.
Yeah.
Right. I was just like, I think like, we don't need to linger on this. I just wanted to bring that up, that thing that Beatrice said, because I think that is something to maybe keep in mind as we go forward through the other episodes. It's just like remembering like, what do we think maybe makes a mystery good? Like what makes a mystery fair and reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can like talk about that as we've had more of these, mysteries to solve. But I just thought that'd be useful for everyone to keep in mind.
Also, can I throw a wrench into something real quick?
Yeah.
Why should we believe Beatrice at all?
Or else there would be no game.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. There
actually,
wouldn't be a story.
Well, no,
I'd like to.
You can deny the red text while also acknowledging there is a game at foot, but it has nothing to do with the red text. It has everything to do with figuring out where, like, solving the epitaph.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think it goes back to what Beatrice was saying earlier about circular logic, right? Because both of them can. Because it's not fun. Yeah. No, I get that. But at the same time, like, this is just a bullshit side game, potentially, to the main, like, game that we're trying to. That is our win condition, I might add. Who was just talking? Was that Rusty?
Rusty, yeah.
Oh, sorry, we talked
okay,
over you. Yeah.
I'd like to bring up how was it established that the red text is always true?
Yeah.
Well, Beatrice said
it. Well, okay.
But if someone tells you...
He said if we keep going back and forth on this and you don't believe me, we literally won't get anywhere. You have to agree to a certain level baseline thing.
But that's...
Or else we just... You won't engage with what I'm saying at all.
But that's kind of... Listen to what you just said. You won't engage with me at all. Mm-hmm. The whole point of the red text is to engage directly with Beatrice. When that is, as I've said before, not the win condition. We need to figure out, not we, but, in this universe where we are in the universe of Umineko.
Winning the debate by ignoring my opponent.
Winning the game by ignoring the opponent trying to get you to play Battleship when you're playing chess. I just took a sip of my drink as though I was walking away from a fucking explosion, I'll have you know.
I think it was Burn Castle who put it that Beatrice doesn't always make the best moves.
Yeah, you can read that.
Strategic, fortuitous one.
Yeah, you can read that as like, I can definitely see the red text as being a very big, like if what she's doing is actually like, we should believe it. The red text is a very, very, like a glaringly obvious weak point. Like anytime we can back Beatrice into a corner and she refuses to answer something, then it's like, well, we're on to something. But also playing into that, she can, like we talked about before, she could just say, like, she could just choose to not say anything. Whether it's true or false. She could just choose, I'm not gonna say anything on that. Like I understand the idea that we're like reading her and her reactions in order to gauge like whether we're on the right track or not. But at the same time, that is just leading us into a situation where where Battler may be, persuaded into something that isn't true because Beatrice is a good actor. She's had 1,000 years to perfect her craft. So like,
yeah. Actually,
I want to.
Oh, go ahead, Rusty.
I want to bring up the theory that there is red text and it is true for a reason, but it might not be true across this 5-dimensional chess game. And solving the red text stuff is important in its own section.
Yeah. I think that the red text is a weak point in a way that requires Battler to not be a complete dunce. I think
then she's fine.
I think the red
That's
text
how
is
That's
exactly.
how-
That's literally what I'm talking about. Like, it's like red text that he's an idiot. Yeah, you are incompetent. So like, if we can figure
he
out,
did kind of use it earlier. There is a point where he actually used it to figure stuff out with like the stuff with the chapel door and the key, and how it could have been resealed inside the envelope. Like,
right?
Kind of used like him saying like, okay, say this in red text that this couldn't have happened, and she didn't say it. Like he
Right.
has kind of taken advantage of this, and I think that he just will need to figure out how better to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to highlight is like he can use the red text to his advantage, but it will require getting Beatrice in a position of like feeling like she's throwing him a bone, or like, here, I'll do this, because as soon as we get the red text, we can use that to like for great effect. If red text is as important as she is making it out to be, and she is truthful with everything that she's set up until that point, it's not so much a game of trying to get her to say stuff. It's trying to trick her into accidentally saying red text that then gives us information. So more red text, the better. I think Battler would be better served by just constantly fucking with her, making her think like she has the upper hand, has all the pieces to just get more and more information, and then later on using that to his advantage. But that's kind of what I'm saying, is like he has to not be incompetent in order to do that, which, as it's red text, he is. So
To be fair to the boy, he's going through a lot.
no, yeah. No, I totally empathize. Although I will say that if in that situation, I wouldn't raid the liquor cabinet. That probably the worst thing you can do.
Well, that was Game Piece Battler. That we don't know
true,
that
that's
Meta
true.
Battler. That was what he wanted to do.
He was like, what if this option I have, what if this adventure, like RPG style, like quick time event, as I walked past the wine cabinet, what if I actually, what path would I be on if I just click this? Like, where is that one guy who made those fucking terrible, what was his name? The fucking guy who has ladies taking showers and all this stuff. What was his name?
Oh, David Cage.
David Cage. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And piss. And piss.
And
They gotta piss.
Oh.
Yeah, piss.
Let's
Hey,
be fair.
Golden
there's a lot
Witch.
of guys who take showers in his games too.
Neil Breen. God, if only this was made by Neil Breen. I need an Neil Breen
Neil
Umineko.
Breen's Umineko, horrifying.
Brumineko, yeah. Breen Mineko.
Battler
Yeah, whatever.
says, who is Beatrice? Why is Beatrice?
I can't believe you've committed suicide. I can't believe you've committed suicide.
Just to circle back to the red text, and I just think because when I first read this, I noticed it right away, and I think it really goes into just the red text as how Beatrice uses it. Is that I realized there was a specific one she said that I was like, oh, she pulled something really sneaky here. And I think Talriel kind of also spotted one, although I kind of want to double check if that's in all translations, but I'll get to that. But the one I specifically spotted when I was reading was when she was like, oh, when Jessica's corpse was discovered, only Battler, George, Maria, Rosa, Genji, Goda, Shannon, Kumasawa, and Nanjo were in Jessica's room. And then the next sentence is, whoops, the corpse of Jessica was also included. But what I noticed there was that, whoops, the corpse of wasn't in red. Jessica was in red.
Where was that? What chapter?
I just shared a screenshot of it. It's chapter 15 in the red text section. It says the corpse is not being indicated in red, just Jessica.
Mm-hmm. And when I saw that, I was immediately like, oh, that changes things actually.
I believe there's an earlier red that does say that Jessica is dead, though, so it doesn't actually change that much.
Yeah, it also says Jessica's corpse was discovered.
Right. Well, so when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, Jessica's quote unquote corpse, right? Like she is playing with the verbiage of the red text in a way that's kind of favorable to her. Is what I kind of spotted when I read.
Yeah,
this
it can kind of come off like a contract, the way that contract language is used.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is really
scarier than a contract, as Rudolph says.
Yeah, because that's when I think episode 3 onwards, I began to really scrutinize the red text and how certain things are worded.
Yeah. I think that having Rudolph alive when we're getting some red text, that's one of the things
God,
that I really wish would happen. Go ahead.
I'm still so curious why he said the first time around that he was going to die that night.
It's interesting that
Like,
so
I can't. Like,
maybe he read the VN.
I don't know. I was just like, there's something there that hasn't come up yet. Because something's up with Rudolph that we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting that like Battler's parents die right off the bat both times.
Yeah, I really wish we got more. That's one of the things. This mystery is interesting and fascinating in its own way, but I'm kind of also here just to learn what happened. I'm really invested in Battler's story. I really want to know what happened to his mom, what happened with Rudolph and him, why he's been away for so long. I just want more info on that, and I don't really care how it fits into the grand scheme of things. I'm just curious.
Well, one thing I noticed is he never seems to. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
He never seems to think about his sister.
True.
Damn, that's fucked up.
When he's on the island and is like, "Oh God, I'm gonna die," he never really thinks I'm never gonna see my sister again.
Listen, if a hot blonde witch showed up in front of me, I would also forget my sister.
Well, no,
but I mean, somewhere it doesn't matter. He's fine.
But he thinks about a lot of stuff, but he never really thinks "Oh, I'm never gonna see my sister again," and that's just interesting to me.
It's also fascinating that Rosa brought Maria, and these family event did they bring Maria when she was much younger? Yeah, because Battler said that he interacted with Maria when she was much younger, and so they're saying
they said that her sister's sick.
Yeah, she's sick, so she doesn't come. But that's also a very convenient excuse if you may have a sneaking suspicion that a bunch of shit's going to go down at this mansion, and you maybe don't really give a shit about your son because you don't really view him that way, or at least not anymore.
Well, for Kyrie, it would be your stepson.
Well, I was talking about Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Good.
Does his sister have the same mother as him?
I would assume so. Oh wait, no.
No.
It's Kyrie's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyrie is the. We know the sister's name at this point, right?
Yes,
I don't think
it's Anjay. It said in at the beginning of the first
it was
one.
the very beginning.
I was pretty sure we knew Anji's name. I just wasn't
Anjay, yes.
Okay, yeah. It's just so that's Kyrie's daughter, and then Battler is Asumo's child.
Didn't Battler leave the Rudolph's family around when or before when Anjay was born, 6 years ago?
Yeah,
yes, that happened at the same time.
Yeah, as when Asumo died, it was about the same time that Kyrie married Rudolph and Anjay was born.
So
right
perhaps
they probably weren't even
Battler
really living
isn't
together then.
Thinking about Anjay because he doesn't have a relationship with her.
I mean, yeah, if Anjay lived with Kyrie and Rudolph and Battler was living with his maternal grandparents, then they probably wouldn't even know each other that well. I couldn't remember what was that was the thing. I couldn't remember whether it was said that she was Kyrie's daughter or not, so I wasn't really sure what kind of relationship they might have. But if she is Kyrie's daughter, then it would make more sense that they don't have much. She and Battler don't have much of a relationship.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm reading this red text.
Do we know how long Battler has been back at Rudolph's place?
Not
no, he hasn't even been back there really.
Yeah, no, that he's just coming back to the island.
Yeah.
Also,
Bob, he's still living with his grandparents.
No, his grandparents are.
Yeah, they just died, and that's why he's coming back for the family conference.
Yeah, I misremembered then.
Yeah, and given that he's 18, it's not said whether or not he's living with Rudolph at this point, but given his age, it is like questionable. Like, would he even like want to go back to his place after this?
He is living with Rudolph again. Actually, it said that he moved back in the first episode.
Oh, it did.
Okay.
Thank you for correcting me.
Thank you.
What's happening, Bob?
Well, you know, witches.
Oh, regarding the question that's in the stream chat, want to make sure that you see that.
Oh, where? Not Twitch stream chat.
On Discord.
Of course, I clicked the wrong button and open up Teams. Cool. All right. Oh, God.
Teams Book Club.
What is it? At what point do you want to pivot to Higu chat? Keeping an eye on time. Let's keep going.
We're about 75% of the way through the allotted time you set up for us. Because you said you wanted 2 hours. We're an hour and a half in.
Yeah. Let's keep going. We can switch to Higu chat like a little later. I was just reading one of these red texts. If you accept me, all the riddles will be resolved. With my power, any kind of closed room can be created or destroyed. And it's funny thinking about that from the perspective of like Beatrice almost talking to like Ryakishi, because it's like, hey, what if I exist?
You're
With
a surprise
me,
tool that can help us later.
I can help you out. I can like make it so that all of this makes sense. It's just magic. It's just me. Witch did it. And I view that as like kind of like almost tempting the writer of the story. You know what I mean? Anyway. All right, we got more topics?
I think that
the last topic is about Higurashi.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I will leave for Higurashi chat because I haven't read it.
Okay.
But I wanted to say that having not read it, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Like, I mean, maybe I am, but like,
it's not required. It
Yeah.
enriches it, but it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, this is necessary knowledge you have to have. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if anything, it's just kind of providing like, I almost want to say like a rubric or like a sort of a layout that may or may not
Background to work with.
Yeah,
It's
not
metatext.
only background, but like there's connective tissue in a way that like the way that certain concepts are being talked about, it kind of provides a framework for how this could be interpreted, but that might also be a detriment because that could be subverted by the end of the story. And yeah, so it might be a blessing or a curse, we don't know, much like a blessing or a curse you would get from a witch.
Yes. Then I'll go and leave y'all for Higurashi talk.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
And with
As
that,
someone
we
else
are
just
going
want
to
to
talk about what was that?
I need to leave as well, so I'm just going to say bye.
Cool. Catch you later. Thank you for joining. All right, everybody. We are going to talk Higurashi in
Cicada time.
It is cicada time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy.
So
like
is
that.
Lambda Delta supposed to be Sakuko or Satoko or
well,
Takano?
as I let you know, Van Castell and Rika have the same VA. Lambda Delta and Satoko do not.
Yeah. I might as well chime in with, like, when I was reading this, Oren Ronan actually chimed in with a nice little factoid, which is that Lambda Delta, Lambda is 3 and Delta is 4 in, Greek. And 3-4 is also how you can spell out Mio.
Mio.
Oh.
Also, the eye colors. Rika has purple eyes and Takano has orangish eyes.
So.
Yeah, I definitely, when I was first reading, 100% was like, oh, well, because if Rika was like sort of the secret protagonist, right? Like, oh, surprise, it's not just Keiichi. Like, I feel like obviously the foil to that would then be Mio as the antagonist. So I read Lambda Delta as, essentially to Mio as Burn Castell is to Rika.
But it is
Why
also
are you using
hard
her
to...
first name? Are you on personal terms?
I
Is she
can't
your
remember
friend?
her other name. I literally...
Takano?
Yes, listen.
It is hard to see this cute brunette and giggling blonde without thinking of Satoko and Rika.
She did laugh the same way.
Yeah.
I guess if Lambda Delta is meant to be Takano, then I guess it makes sense that like Burn is like, oh yeah, Lambda trapped me in her game, and that's how I became a witch.
There was that talk about that, about how the pieces and the boards were different in their own experience.
Yeah. It's also interesting talking about it from the standpoint of Burn and Lambda Delta are basically like much younger versions of themselves, with Takano being the prime example there. Although Burn Castell is the name of Rika's older version, if I remember correctly. And so really why Beatrice being older is fascinating to me when these two characters who are presented as older are suddenly much younger. I don't know what it's trying to say there. Or unless it was just Rikishi wanting cute girls in his stuff, which,
With Baron Castell, I will say, comparing the sprites, she does look physically older than Pika, at least. She has like a different figure to her. She has like a different kind of way of holding herself, and her speaking is different as well. Yes, thank you. But she's still petite, is the thing.
Okay. So the thing about this is that doesn't this hint that Burn Castell, or I'm sorry, not Burn Castell, Beatrice in this world is like much like Lambda Delta would have been in Higurashi. I mean, obviously Beatrice is the antagonist currently. That might be switched around.
You think that might change?
It's possible. I would think it would be really cool. Like in my head, it would be neat to present her as the antagonist when actually she might be the protagonist. That makes me want to kind of go in here and look at some of the other characters and see like, is Beatrice a version?
A little fucker.
Yeah. Is Beatrice a version of like herself, or is she a version of someone else in the story? Much like Burn Castell is a version of Rika and Lambda Delta is a version of Takano. Is Beatrice a version of someone else? Or is she just like herself, but like as a witch? And in that case, what was the kind of shit that she had to go through? Like, because Takano did not have it good. Rika did not have it good. Like, yeah, I'm fascinated. Like, did they both... I don't know. Rika had a different situation because she was able to, navigate the I keep wanting to say shards, but I don't know if that's correct.
No, you got it right. It's shards.
Yeah.
Fragments.
Fragments. Yeah. So like, her power is very useful, and I guess the thing that, because that was going to be one of my questions, was like, was Rika helping like Battler during the second game, and we just like. Because I think Beatrice confirmed that, like, that Rika was helping Battler. Right?
I was thinking it more like in the first question mark, giving hints.
Okay.
I think.
Because one of the things you could say about Rika helping Battler in a way that it might be imperceptible for Beatrice to, is for Rika to lend Battler the power of looping time, like looping
like
back.
how she did with the Weedzong Time Cop.
Yeah,
that whole section of hey, it's me.
Hey,
Here's
it's
some
me.
info.
Yeah.
Go change the world. My final message.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes me think of like speedrunning to the end. They were able to win Higurashi by accepting magic and believing, and maybe Battler has that insight, and that's why he did submit, but it didn't work.
Well, to be
Theory.
fair, in Higurashi they didn't like accept magic. They accepted the capacity of their like each other, right? Then that their friendship could overcome the difficulties of their circumstances. Is on top of like not taking an easy route out via like violence.
Yeah, but I feel like there's like a conversation like, well, you think that what I got to at the end of Higurashi is so profound, but what if it was totally wrong? And just playing with expectations in that way.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair read, yeah.
Like just like blindly extending faith did not win for him this time.
Jan, I
Just
do
in-
feel
in-
empathy for you,
Yeah.
but I won't help you. It's like how someone sitting in front of a television cannot reach the characters on screen no matter how much they yell at them. I intend to enjoy the endless tales that Beato is going to weave until I tire of them, but I'm sure that alone won't hold my interest. I mean, there it's very clear that like she's basically... I think in that context, it really kind of highlights that Berncastel Rika is just hitting restart on the game. Like sitting in front of the television, not being able to reach the characters on screen, heavily implying she is sitting in front of a game console playing a game. And like you can't reach the characters, but you can restart the console.
Like, you know, the Famicom did exist at this point. It was out.
Yo. I intend to, I'm going to give you my power. She has the power of miracles. There was a miracle. This door will be opened in a chance of 1 to whatever it was. Maybe that was the miracle that she gave?
What was the miracle? The door?
The chapel door being open.
When? At the very beginning?
Yeah, they said that the chapel door said that there's a very small chance of this door being open. And if miracles have to do with low percentage chances.
Yeah, see, in that way, Potta Katie, like that's kind of what I was thinking about when, and I'm sure that's what you meant with like the D&D like comparison, because it's like really like Rika's power is the power to make any dice roll like a 20, like a nat 20 or something.
With that in mind, I think Gale said, or has told me once that in an interview he does write. Like, he did say that he writes as though it's a pen and paper story.
A pen and paper story?
Yeah, like a tabletop game.
Oh, okay. I hear a Gale.
He looks at his characters as players in a game. I am quoting Gale on this.
Oh yeah, I mean that's this game. Yes, I think that's also Higurashi to a certain degree. But yeah, interesting. Okay. So yeah, comparing what's happening to Higurashi, it really kind of recontextualizes Higurashi, doesn't it? Like the way that we viewed the sort of characters in that, like the way that this is presenting itself. Lambda Delta, what was her power again?
Certainty.
Which certainty?
So she's able to. What did she make certain in Higurashi?
I think the implication there was that she was like rigging things in her favor.
She'd like had this all planned out since her time as a child.
Yeah,
like, you know,
and just constant, relentless work.
Mm-hmm.
And then to contrast that, Dohawario in chat says it's less that Rika can make a nat 20 and more that she can re-roll until she hits the 20. So that's the opposite, I guess, of getting those chances until the miracle happens.
Yeah, I was simplifying that to making it so that she can get a nat 20 no matter how many, like it makes it so that will happen. So it's the equivalent of basically re-rolling until every dice roll in a game is 20.
Mm-hmm.
And in this specific situation, it's this specific instance rolling a 20. So
Maybe in contrast to that, it would be if you wanted to look at the opposite side for Lambda Delta, it would be raising her stat until no matter what she rolls, it is above the DC.
Or perhaps setting the dice check to be certainly like at so that the certainty is that it is 19. Like you have to beat 19 to win. That's the certainty that she sets. And then the miracle that Bern Castell like goes to is to get that 20 through re-rolling.
I also kind of want to highlight the first part of what Dohiwaria quoted on Rika, a miracle will not occur unless everyone believes. And that's Beatrice's whole problem. Beatrice has someone that does not believe, and she's trying to fix that.
right, which means who is her? If we view Beatrice as Lambda Delta, who is her Bern Castell? Do we think it's Battler? Or do we think it's someone else?
Her natural opponent?
Yeah. Who is her opponent in this match?
Battler.
It seems like it's a 3-way match, the way they described it, like rock, paper, scissors.
I think, I think that that's so... I think that is an assumption to make, but I don't know if it's the correct one. Mainly because... I don't like in the same way that Keiichi was the main character in Higurashi. I think that
Yeah, I think she was describing that in terms of like who's effective against who, as opposed to these are the 3 people in this singular case, or like have each equal input.
Right. Yeah. I
mean, like, I do think it's, a worthwhile question of like, if this is a game of matched opponents, we've certainly been presented with the matched opponents of Beatrice and Battler, but like, do we think that Ryukishi would pull a similar like thematic move as like revealing that like we should have been focusing on Rika instead of Keiichi, like that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a worthwhile question.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to get into. Is like Beatrice's stated opponent is Battler, so like when you go down to who is the quote unquote game against, it's Battler. But what the greater machinations of like what that competition is and how that factors into the other witches, that's a good question to ask. Yeah.
What if it's us? What if it doesn't end until we accept her?
I certainly accept.
There's only 8 episodes.
Parts of Beatrice. I won't accept that she's a witch. But
sounds a little gay.
I hope so.
Does Beatrice have a generator?
Yeah, that she gets all the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what magic really is? Ooh, the gay generator.
Is it like a math problem? Is like, if gay equal witch, if gay and not
Good
witch
so
equals homophobic? I'm not sure how this is working out.
You should use double equals if you're programming
Does
correctly.
not equal, yes. Chad hit us up with the math on that one.
Is that why Shannon and Canon's magic fights failed? Because they were too heterosexual to
Yes.
properly wield their magic?
I mean, now you're just spoiling it.
Yeah, the true power was just Shannon and Jessica.
You won't believe
It's there
how
right there
bold
the whole
these
time.
folks are.
The truth come out. Does Beatrice is gay?
And Cannon and George? No, actually, let's try someone else. Cannon and Battler.
No one in George. No one in
works.
George.
Yeah,
Cannon and Battler, sure, absolutely.
I'm still waiting for the shoe to drop on either Shannon or George. Like, I need to know what is happening there, because surely it's not the fucked up situation that's being presented. But whatever. Every time I think that they're going to do something with it, it's like they kind of just lock down on like, no, they're in love and they love each other.
You're only in episode 2.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Well,
yeah.
Not even that. Like, what are you hoping they would?
Did I say Jessica or Shannon?
You said Shannon.
You said
Okay.
Shannon.
No,
but like, what are you hoping to come up?
That George is basically power position over Shannon is interrogated in some way. That the fucked up situation of like what almost sort of grooming that George is doing to Shannon is like interrogated. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like a fucked up situation that is consistently being presented as like an ideal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's the interrogation here?
That it's fucked up.
Well, okay, so you just want them to acknowledge that it's fucked up in text.
Basically, yeah.
One thing that I was like joking about before you joined in was that I had seen Shannon as this like complete victim, but now she has magic, so maybe she has stuff figured out more than I thought she did.
No, yeah, and that's what I kind of want to happen is like either like George is interrogated or Shannon is interrogated, because I think that there's an aspect of this where Shannon might be like there's something else going on with her that we're not privy to. Like she might be manipulating George in a way where George thinks that he's like getting off scot-free with what he's doing or something. I don't know. Is it one of those situations where it's like, oh, you thought I was 14 years old, turns out I'm 1,000 years old. I don't know, it's anime, who knows, but we'll see, I guess. Either way, I can see problematic shit coming out of both instances here. But you know, just with the conversations that we've had before, I'm just like, I'm just concerned, confused. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
So do you think it was like positing Shannon as correct in her argument with Beatrice? Because when it was saying like her saying, you know, it's pure innocent love, paraphrasing there, versus Beatrice saying, Beatrice saying, no, it's just sex, that's all he wants. Are you saying that it was framing Shannon as being like correct?
I'm saying that, well, yeah, or Beatrice is like framing it as like an ideal that she wasn't able to achieve, or like there are a bunch of ways that you could examine this situation. I think that one of the things
I'm basically asking. Sorry, I'm basically asking, do you think that the text is framing this as a character-on-character conflict, or a like that Shannon is correct in this? Like, is it siding with her or just portraying a conflict essentially?
I'm thinking that I think that in that moment we are meant to see Beatrice as a bad person, that a person with bad or corrupted ideals who is assailing a innocent person, a person whose violence that is being perpetuated upon them is not justified. And I think that one of the things that's happening here is Beatrice going after Shannon and doing the things that she's doing and saying the things that she's saying is exemplifying a corrupted worldview that has led her to be antagonistic towards Shannon in this way, failing she bad guy, she do bad thing, why she do bad thing, that not good, Shannon good, why Shannon killed, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, I think
so that Battler can understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think when I got from that scene is like it may be setting up, and potentially I imagine there might be a rug pull later, but at least in the context of the scene, it's sort of a protagonist-centered morality where like, because like, you know, basically what you just said. I don't need to repeat it, but that's just, you know.
Yeah. And I'm thankful that you mentioned that it is potentially going to be rug pulled later, because that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is it, that's it, like that's the viewpoint, there's nothing, there's nowhere else that it can go. I'm just saying that like it is being emphasized multiple times. George and Shannon's sort of relationship is being portrayed as something idyllic and to be envied or replicated.
And of course, Rena is to be feared at all times and never trusted. You know, his friends might have been, in Higu speak, might have been putting those needles in them. So, as we know, we were never thought to trust them.
Right, but what I'm saying is that playing with tropes like this, especially like, I'm totally down for it being subverted, but you can't play with tropes in this way and subvert them later and not like avoid the criticism of deploying those tropes in the first place.
Well, you have to deploy them to criticize them is the problem.
And that's the minefield that's being played here. That's the thing that I'm talking about, is like, I am really hoping that this minefield is going to be navigated. Like, I assume that it will be. I'm pointing out, though, currently, that there is a lot of focus on this relationship between George and Shannon, and it is being portrayed as like this ideal, like this, oh, there's nothing going on here, don't worry about it, they love each other, they're kids in love. And based on some stuff that other people have said in previous book clubs, I'm kind of worried. And that's basically it. I don't really like subscribe to the idea that Ryokishi is simply going to drop this and then let it go. But I am concerned. I think it's. I think it's dismissive to say that you're not allowed to have criticisms of this at this point.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, we haven't. Sorry, I can't. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I guess what I want to like go into here, Bob, it's like, okay, so you're getting presented this thing, right? This let's say front of like an idyllic relationship, and your criticisms that like, well, they're portraying it actively right now, right? A certain way. So
Sure.
I think my question there is like, why is that a stickler for you?
Because I haven't finished the game and I don't know where it's going to go. Literally, all that I'm saying here is that I don't know where it's going to go, and I hope that it goes a certain way, really, and that I think. Well, I'm not criticizing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, but you said dismissing criticism earlier, so I wanted to clarify that.
Well, I think that in terms of the way that it is being sort of ingested, I think that you in particular are viewing this as a critique. You're viewing this as basically me being like, I don't like this thing. When it's like, I cannot like a thing, but I can also understand why it's there. You know what I mean? Like, Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. We've already talked about this. It's one of those things where all I'm saying here, the only thing I'm saying, is that I am noticing something. It is a minefield. I hope it navigates it in a way that doesn't blow up.
Yeah,
and knowing Ryokishi, knowing his work, you know, from Higurashi, I forgot we're still in Higurashi, spoiler time. I have an idea of where it's going to go, but I think that it's, you know,
and
I understand it from y'all's point of view because you are coming at it with all of the information, and I can empathize because I'm sure that it's frustrating as fuck to hear someone criticize them. It's like someone getting halfway through like Silent Hill 2 and being like, oh, I don't know, Maria's being like portrayed as this like harlot, and I don't really enjoy this. This is kind of goofy, but at the same time, I understand that at that point, like, it's tough. But I don't have the information to like know where it's gonna go.
But I think the thing I specifically, it's like, what I want to hear is your idea of where it's going. I don't want to, like, so when I ask like,
where I hope it's gonna go, I just hope the relationship is like, because okay, for all the people who have finished this, do you see like why their relationship could be like sort of interpreted as complicated or fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
So like, from my perspective, I haven't completed the game, so I don't know where it's going to go. You all have a very specific idea of how this is going to be resolved or not resolved or navigated in some way. Maybe not even reached the end of, because apparently we're not even going to get, like, I don't know. I'm getting the vibe that we're not even going to get answers for some of the questions for this. which is fine. I am a Silent Hill fan after all, but like, I move away from the mic to burp. But like, in terms of what was I saying? Fuck. Oh, this keeps happening. I'm old. Help.
It's fine.
Oh, go ahead, burp.
I was just gonna say, like, I think definitely where you're at within episode 2, there is definitely some very like rose-tinted glasses framing that I think is absolutely there, purposeful, and I think it's worth like saying, yeah, this feels weird to me, and I think that's a valid like thing, and I don't think you're in any way saying that like, oh, I think this is going to turn out badly. For me, what I'm hearing you say is that you're like, okay, this feels weird in the moment. I'm hoping it resolves. I expect it to resolve. And that makes sense to me completely.
Yeah, well, that's all I'm saying. Is just like,
and you being aware of anime, you are bracing for the like complete embrace of the 1,000-year-old dragon trope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think also you're unfortunately not unjustly being primed by fucking EDA, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I think
Jesus,
like with that in mind, it's like, ooh, that was not critical. That was not included with the intent to deconstruct. And like, with that in mind, yeah, no, I totally fucking get it. I totally fucking get it. Being like, I hope this goes somewhere.
Because it's so funny, like, and I don't mean this as a slight in any way at all. Like, you are all great, and I am having a very good time. Like, do not, like, there are certain things about this experience of Ryukishi's, all of the things that I've played of Ryukishi's, they all have at least one thing that makes me go, what the fuck was that? Are we all just gonna collectively like ignore that?
I feel like, okay,
and it's like it's so weird because it's like specifically like one thing, but we're all just like, let's just pretend that didn't happen. And it's one of those things where it's just like, I really hope that that's contained to a certain like, I don't want to say like sexual proclivity, but like,
minors, yeah.
The general consensus is that the big let's pretend that didn't happen is that because he didn't say those lines.
We
saw him not say those lines.
Badler has never said those words.
He never said that.
Well,
I
was talking about stuff that Rika was talking about in Higurashi, but anyway.
I have faith that crossing the finish line, we will not be focusing on the funny incest jokes.
Okay. Sunblack Femme, yes, even Silent Hill F. The UFO ending has some really weird.
Oh, right. Fuck, I forgot about the UFO ending.
Really weird shit in it. And it's like, oh, joke, haha, funny, hee hee. And it's like, what is that? What is the fly in this soup? What is, get it out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna probably bring this up a bit later, but just
where's that guy going with this?
But no, I have a complete. Okay,
okay, all right.
So what I'm trying to say is that, like, obviously I see a lot of people being like, oh, I trust Ryukishi to go somewhere with this, or I trust he's a great writer, and I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, we're kind of giving that motherfucker too much benefit of the doubt sometimes. That people are fallible.
I saw Yawn unmute so fast.
But I think
I'm agreeing.
One of the things I get frustrated by is that people give him too much benefit of a doubt, I feel. Just because, Higurashi did a good job, and
yeah, I totally agree. And it's one of those things where it's kind of, I forget who said it on the first stream, on the first book club stream, but the way that they were interpreting it as a person, if I remember correctly, they finished the game and they were still criticizing this like view of George and Shannon's relationship as like not like thought through, and it really made me trepidatious. It really made me like, oh no, like, is this one of those things where like I'm really concerned, and I'm concerned that it's one of those, and based on the pushback that I'm getting, I'm totally like worrying about nothing. But it's that kind of stuff where it's like, that person was saying that very much like what you're saying, like he's being given like sort of undue credit, or he's being unjustly,
Put on a
like,
pedestal, I
yeah,
think.
or the way that he presents this is being interpreted deliberately, like positively in a way that like kind of hurts the read of the game.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that
But-
trepidation of like how something is handled, I think, is always just the part of media
Yeah.
where you kind of have to like go in and just hope for the best. There's a lot of times where I've like read a visual novel that has kind of been kind of horrendous, and I can still kind of give it the benefit of the doubt even when I don't. It's just
Yeah,
I don't know.
my brother Caleb specifically hates or hated Doki Doki Literature Club because he got to the point toward the beginning of the game and was so horrendously turned off that he just stopped playing. And I can't really blame him, because it's just one of those things where it can like pull real like raw emotions out of you, especially the way that it was deployed. But I'm really glad that I kept going with it, and I tried to tell him like there's more to it, but it's not worth,
Everyone has their
re-triggering
breaking
yourself.
points. Everyone has things that like push them a little too far, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I've just been basically trying to say is like pointing out how like there are some things going into this, knowing what it is, or at least just like what is the format of what we're getting into is trying to be like, okay, what points should we take at face value and what points should we not? And it feels like this is one of those things that people going in take completely at face value and going, well, maybe it's a bit inconsistent with how you're engaging with the rest of the story. It feels like there's a bit of friction there. I'm saying like, well, apply that deeper reading where possible, maybe don't take everything at face value just because it's being framed a certain way.
And I guess what my point is, sorry to jump in here, but I just want to kind of like lay out I think this will help sort of elucidate like what my perspective is on this. I think that this is being exacerbated by the fact that I have a problem with it, and the trope that is being deployed consistently for a very long visual novel that we have been playing a very large amount of. I mean, how many hours have we been playing of the main game? If this was a shorter game...
1 second. Not including the adjustment for your stream time, we're 34 hours 18.
So that's a very long time. And so think of it like this. Think of it like, I think that trope was being deployed so that, much like ICAT was I think I understood what you were getting at, is more like, imagine if like we're walking, like this game is a treadmill and we're walking on it, and there is a certain part of the treadmill that if you were to walk on it, it would fuck up your gait. It would like kind of trip you up. But if you're walking on another part of it, you wouldn't notice it at all. You would just keep going. What I'm trying to say is like, we have been walking for like 30 plus hours, and every time this part of the treadmill comes up, I am constantly tripping up on it, and it's fucking me up. And it constantly, every time it happens, my eyes are like, I'm focused on it in a way that I probably shouldn't be, because the trope is being deployed for people who don't think that, for people who aren't walking on that part of the treadmill. They're on the other side. So they're at a certain point maybe going to be pointed at that part and be like, oh yeah, that's a fucked up part of the treadmill, don't you think? And they're like, you know what? Yeah, it is. And meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah, I know. I've been tripping over it for the past like 30, 50 hours. That's kind of, does that help like sort of?
Yeah, because I was going to bring up the example I was going to use, which is a silly example, was Spec Ops: The Line, right? Where Spec Ops: The Line.
Real quick, you say your example's silly, and yet I just made a fucking metaphor about a treadmill with like a fucked up thing on it. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so one criticism I always heard about Spec Ops: The Line is that like, oh, it's a game about that it says, shooting people is bad, and don't you feel fucked up? And I feel like what people are forgetting is that like it was a pointed critique at a certain type of player who was really into military shooters, Call of Duty style, that uncritically employed stuff like Vice Phosphorus and like, torture and stuff like that, and Spec Ops The Line, all this. Yeah.
Like that scene where the thing happens is, if I remember correctly, it's the exact like kind of thing that you would do in a Call of Duty match where you're
absolutely and there's like the camera angle used for it is very similar to the camera angle used in a similar type of action that takes place. Honestly, Spec Ops: The Line is so pointed at modern warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It is like wild to think about playing that or seeing it without knowing what's in those Modern Warfare games. Anyway,
yeah. So it's like, I understand where you're coming from, and and I also understand like, oh, I want to see where it's going. So that's the question of like, I want to see what your opinion as to what is going to happen is, more than like if it's going to like be assuading you like, oh, it's going to happen. Don't worry, he's going to critique it. I'm like, I think the more interesting thing is like how and
what do you think? How I would do it, or like what I think
you would do it? Yeah, what is going to happen?
I guess if you want me to answer that question, the thing that what I'm kind of expecting to happen is that I think that we start understanding that Shannon might not be, she might, like I mentioned this a little bit on the previous book club, but she might not be like the good girl that we think she is. She is, after all, like contracted to Kinzo. And I think that her going into Kinzo's study with Genji, something happened there. I don't know what, something weird, something strange. She might be playing George is basically what if I were to bet, I think that would probably be my leading bet, is that, I think that Shannon might be, I wouldn't say that that's like an optimal like way to interface with this. I would say it's like definitely in a way of interacting with this weird situation that sidesteps it. That basically, portrays everything that happened as like, oh no, I was actually, a double agent or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I guess another way that it could go is basically Shannon's just gives him the guff, just like tells him like, even if she is, a double agent, she could also like add on to that by being like, how fucking dare you, dude? You know how fucking old I am? I guess that could also come from another character as well. Well, it wouldn't hit as hard if Ava did it versus like Natsuhi. So, yeah.
So, do you think that it wouldn't really count as textual critique unless Shannon herself says never mind?
No.
Okay.
I
just wanted to check.
No. I'm not a goofy. I'm not Battler. You give me too little credit.
You don't need it
I'm
said
not being
directly in
charitable
red.
enough with you.
No.
Yeah. To tell you of like a similar thought process I had when I was reading this. When I was reading all into the section, one of the thoughts I had was like, oh, Shannon is using George as a vehicle to get out of like a rough place in her life, right? George is, she doesn't care about, well, she might care about George, I have no clue at the time, but like, she doesn't care about George in the sense that she thinks of him, like, she thinks their relationship is good or anything. It's that is her way of leaving, like having.
She has no friends and nothing going on outside the island.
Yeah,
so
that's
to me,
the other thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was that like, okay,
that's security right there. That's safety right there.
Yeah, like this is how she's navigating it as like a woman in the 1980s.
Right, and that provides sort of understanding of why she's doing what she's doing. But I guess I would kind of want something more. That's fine, but like I would also be like, it would be cool if we actually like point at George, like, and actually like be like, hey, that what that guy's doing is kind of fucked up, isn't it? I literally want Ryakishi to give me one of those Ryakishi rooms from Higurashi and just be like, hi, I'm Ryakishi 07. Isn't what George doing kind of fucked up? Anyway, I'm kidding. I don't literally want that. You can hear Yawn unmuting immediately.
like the Satoko
I mean-
note.
Did
Wait,
you like the end
I think I
of
hear
my?
a yawn right now. Oh,
Did you like the end of my VN where I sat down in front of the camera and said, "Hi, you might have seen some disturbing things tonight. I just want to remind you that's not okay."
I do remember Ryukishi having talks with the player in the later Higurashi chapters.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
referencing.
did not like that though.
Yeah. Just like, here, I'm Ryukishi 07. Let me go ahead and tell you my moral stance on every single aspect of the story that I've presented to you.
Now
Yeah,
I'm
no.
imagining R.L. Stein.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Ryukishi.
Hello, I'm Ryukishi 07.
Don't go into the boiler room.
Hello, I'm Ryukishi 07. Here's Battler's nude ass.
We didn't go into the boiler room this.
No, but Shannon
Is that
did.
where Cannon was?
Shannon got
That's
that
true, Shannon
web.
did go in.
You know, she got that motherfucking web on her.
She got that thing on her. It's just a spider web.
16 minutes past 2 hours. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I think we're basically wrapping up with the customary book club. Jan and Bob argue about George Shannon relationship for way too long.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm way too pushy about this.
I'm sorry. I just keep getting tripped up by it's just
No, I understand.
It wouldn't be as bad if they just didn't like the beautiful music when George and oh, aren't they so beautiful, and isn't this so lovely, and oh, I just want them to survive, and it's beautiful and everything's great.
See,
and it's just like,
yeah,
but fucked up, man.
If I were doing it, I'd have the exact same scene as the first one in the second one, but fucking change the soundtrack entirely. When I reread it, I
just like
swapped
knock it
for one of
out.
The horror tracks. It's a completely different feel.
Yeah.
Same text, different
Yeah.
feel, different song.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that to happen too. Like, I want them to have like a conversation where it's just like, what? Like, just play it straight and just like actually get to the meat of the convo. The shit that he said in the first episode was so weird, dude. It was so weird.
Gross. He's so gross.
And that's kind of what I want, really, is like the shoe to drop on George and for him to reveal that he is like a massive fucker. Like the world's biggest fucker. Like red text, George is a fucker.
George is the murderer.
I want to talk about one thing with the length of the book club. How it feels reading Umineko and talking about Umineko is like, I have described it as food before, and it's just so delicious, and I keep wanting to eat more and more. But with Ryukishi reminding us to think, that's like your parent reminding you to chew while you're eating and to portion yourself out. So it is good to have an outside reminder to not
following it all at once.
Spend 15 hours on this book club.
Yeah, I really would, if it wasn't for the book club and just my personal schedule. I every time we play, I'm like, I want to finish an episode a night. Like, I want to blast through. I want to like devour it, because every time we end an episode, it's like, I need to know what fucking happens next. Except after the George and Shannon stuff, I was kind of like, I can wait a bit.
Time for a break.
Yeah, the beginning of episode 2 was like, oh my god, are we
the
really
worst date of all time and the second worst date of all time?
Like, literally, I remember saying on, it was either a book club or a stream, I was like, man, I really hope we get Shannon's interiority. And then like, yeah, I think it was the beginning of episode 2 when I was like, I really want to know what Shannon's thinking right now. And then we go into Shannon's mind and we get what she's thinking, and it's just like, oh,
you've been manipulated by a fucker.
Oh fuck, man. Anyway, but you know, we'll make it through. And you know what? Maybe I should make a promise to just stop fucking harping on this. And I should just like chill and just like
you can
kind
do
of
it more.
I guess if it comes up again, I'll like, maybe I'll just try to shut up about it. Anyway.
Bro, I gotta go check and see if the moon is outside. See you later.
Scary.
Oh, you're leaving now? Okay. All right. Hey everybody! All right, we're gonna go ahead and call it there. Thank you so much to for joining and having a great time with me along with my pals. That would be Indestructible Cat,
Yo.
Mel,
Hi.
Purpley Orange,
Thank you.
Rusty Cat,
Good night.
Talsreal,
Thank you and good night.
Ultimate Trainer,
Goodbye.
and Yawn.
Bye.
Thank you so much,
Kate
Yawn, for
and
setting all this up again. You are truly the witch of book club. We pay you your respects. I'll find someone's face and skin it for you to use in your various incantations and stuff. I love that laugh. That was a great laugh.
I was also going to say thank you to Kate and Spider-Man for also showing up.
Yes, thank you to the ones who are no longer with us. They are not dead. They are just not here. All right, everybody. And thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Simblock Tworgo, Vera Ledger, Clover Femu, everybody in the chat, Doey Wario, everybody who, and Misk Insanity, thank you so much for joining. And thank you to everybody who joined previously. We're going to come back, and that's going to be next week. We're going to come back on Monday. So, yeah, Ursula Cat. And, yeah, all right, thanks, y'all. Have a great rest of your night. And, yeah, take it easy. Bye.
Laters.
Bye.